How do you design one of the most advanced ERs in the country? At Parkview, we did it by focusing all our attention on you, the patient, by involving doctors and nurses in the design process, by creating quieter, more private spaces, and by leading the region in heart, stroke, and trauma care. This is not your typical emergency room. It's Parkview. In an emergency, isn't this where you'd rather be?
Parkview, your partner in health.
But it's also the Friday night that indicates it's time for sectional championship football. And tonight we've made our way to Luers Field at Bishop Luers High School for a 3A sectional championship between the Concordia Cadets and the Bishop Luers Knights. Good evening, everyone. I am Brett Rump, joined tonight by Corey Kitchen. It's a rematch of an SAC battle that took place in Week 4 with the Concordia Cadets defeating the Bishop Luers Knights. That seemed to be perhaps the win that has propelled this Concordia team to really believe in themselves, play with a lot of confidence, and now this Cadets team on a big winning streak coming into tonight. What does Bishop Luers have to do to try to stop a hot Concordia team?
That's a tall order, Brett. I think that they need to be able to run the football in order to keep Concordia's offense off the field as much as they possibly can, and they need to get some stops on defense, obviously.
When you look at Bishop Luers, obviously they'll have to change some things from what happened the first go-around, and I think anytime a team loses in the first matchup, they're the ones that make the adjustments. What type of changes do you expect to see from Bishop Luers?
I would assume that they are going to try to keep Morrison in the pocket. I think he's most dangerous when he's outside the pocket and able to move around, so they may try to stay in their lanes as a defensive line and try to keep him there in the pocket, where I think he's a little less comfortable than on the move. And I would expect them to mix up their coverages in the back end of the defense a little bit more. Maybe give him some zone, give him some man-to-man, give him some different things to look at. And it wouldn't shock me if they tried a little bit of press coverage to maybe hold up the Concordia receivers at the line of scrimmage.
If you're the Concordia coach, and of course Tim Manigal is, this is an interesting position to be in because you won a game fairly comfortably the first time you played. You know that Bishop Luers is going to make some adjustments and change some things. How do you approach your game plan if you're Tim Manigal? Stick with the same that worked the first time, or anticipate some changes and have some wrinkles?
Well, you hit the nail on the head, Brett. I think that anytime a coach has to play the same team twice in the same season, it's kind of a coach's nightmare. But I would expect some new wrinkles. I'm sure he's going to try to anticipate what Luers may try to do to them, and I'm sure Coach Manigal will be ready for that.
Looking at tonight's schedule, of course, in 6A, the Homestead Spartans have taken a trip to Warsaw, where the Tigers have already eliminated one SAC team. They'll try to do it 2 weeks in a row against the Homestead Spartans. In Class 5A, the Snyder Panthers take their undefeated record and top ranking in Class 5A up to Goshen to take on the Red Hawks. Snyder 10-0, Goshen coming in tonight at 8-2. In 4A action, a couple of area sectional championships involving teams from our area. East Noble is 8-2. They will host the undefeated Northwood Panthers as Northwood comes in with an 11-0 mark. Also, a big one with Dwenger and New Haven. Bishop Dwenger 8-3, but of course you have to appreciate the fact that they've played that SAC schedule, and they take on a New Haven team with a perfect record, 10-0. They've been a high-scoring team all year long. I think they've been perhaps an underrated defense. It's a big challenge for Bishop Dwenger, but of course I think for the Saints, they've got to start on the defensive side and try to hold down or at least contain to some level that high-powered New Haven offense.
Well, there's no doubt about that, Brad. I think that the key for Bishop Dwenger is to, as best they can, stop the running game from New Haven and make them throw. If they put them into long yardage situations and down in distance, even though New Haven does have a good quarterback in Nishan Jones, I still think that that's their best chance to win that game. Possess the football and try to shut down New Haven's run as best they can. Nobody else has been able to do it, though.
Yeah, it's been quite a dominant New Haven offense. We'll take a look at other area games tonight, and we'll get you set for the opening kickoff here at Luers Field. It's high school football presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Attention high school and middle school football players. It's time to register to try out for AWP's 7-on-7 football team. Join the process with AWP Football, the #2 power-ranked 7-on-7 football organization in the country and the 2015 7-on-7 IMG National Champions. All players must get pre-registered online, so don't delay and sign up now to join the process. AWP Football features the nation's premier coaching staff for player development, providing national exposure with over 150 scholarships and 8 tournament championships since 2012. AWP 7-on-7 football not only provides national exposure, recruiting advisory, and growth-conscious environment, but you can improve your personal skills all while playing for the #2 power-ranked organization in the country. Limited spots available for the tryouts, and you must pre-register online. Open for 6th grade through high school. For information and to register for the tryouts, go to awpsportstraining.com. That's awpsportstraining.com.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm gonna keep ticking, but no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart and don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. For help keeping yours at a healthy range, text PRESSURE to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
It's high school football, presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Welcome back to the south side of Fort Wayne. It is Bishop Luers High School, Luers Field. Tonight it's Class 3A sectional championship action between the Concordia Cadets and the Bishop Luers Knights. Team captains are out in midfield with Justin Shippey, our referee, and his crew working tonight's sectional championship. It's the coin toss, and we follow the process of what's happening. And I'm Brett Rump, joined by Corey Kitchen. DC Hendricks, our producer, back in the studio. Concordia will win the coin toss, but as has been the kind of the thing to do now, it's going to be Concordia deferring to the second half. It'll be Bishop Luers that'll get the football first. Of course, with Concordia, such a high-powered offense, are you surprised by this decision? I mean, it seems like all of a sudden this has become kind of the kosher thing, is to defer the opening coin toss.
It is, although I think that Concordia, probably the underrated part of that football team is their defense. And I think they believe that they can come out here, get a stop, pin them deep, and give great field position to their offense right out of the gate.
We'll keep you up to date on all the other games happening, and we were going through some of the other area action, and had told you about 6A, 5A, and 4A, but in 3A also, Jimtown is at Garrett. The Jimmies 7-4. The Garrett Railroaders under Chris Depew 10-1 going into action tonight, and that game can be heard on ESPN Radio 106.7 FM. Also, other area action in 2A. You've got Cherubusco at South Adams, and a 1A matchup between Monroe Central and Adams Central, two teams with a combined 21-1 record. We've got the teams on the field. It'll be Concordia kicking off, going north to south. Concordia in white uniforms. They've got the maroon numbers, maroon helmets. Meanwhile, for Bishop Luers, white pants, black jerseys, white numbers with red trim. And, of course, the black Bishop Luers helmets. So Concordia set to get this one underway. And it's a little pooch kick, very short, takes one hop, grabbed on the bounce by Carter Gilly at the 40, and then he's piled up and pushed backwards. Well, Concordia looked for almost a soft spot, I think. It wasn't really an onside, but a little punch in the air toward the sideline at the 40, hoping to catch Luers by surprise, but the end result is that Luers will have very good field position.
I'm trying to figure out if he did that on purpose or if that was by accident.
Well, when you look at your poison as you're kicking off, and we talk about this, both teams have excellent return men back deep, including for Bishop Luers, Deshaun Bussell and I don't think Concordia wants to kick it deep. So from the left hash, it's Bishop Luers to start. Arian Nieves, the quarterback. He'll drop in the pocket, and it's play action. He's looking to throw, and he's going home run ball deep. Man-to-man coverage, and the receiver dragged down. They're going to throw a flag. It'll be pass interference. It was man-to-man against Deshaun Bussell. Concordia man-to-man coverage, and it looked like, I don't know if that was Keone Griggs or Andrew Fortmeyer. That's a 5 or a 6, but pretty tight coverage. But eventually when Bussell went down, that brought out a flag.
Keone Griggs on the coverage. Looking to see the call here. I see some, defensive pass interference. So, yeah, there was a lot of, I was wondering if they were going to call it the other direction. There was a lot of contact. There was obviously a deep post route by Bussell there. They were going for the jugular right out of the gate, and I think they could have actually probably called that either way, but it was tough for Bussell to get away from the coverage.
So it's first down for Bishop Luers, and they'll move into Concordia territory at the Cadets' 45-yard line. Ball's in the left hash, slot to the right, and a handoff right at the middle. Jalen Charlton met as he gets right through the initial hole. Short gain of a couple to around the 43-yard line. It's second down and 8. Concordia defends the run well that time by the big running back for Bishop Luers, Jalen Charlton. The senior is 6'3", 196 pounds, and that shows right there where Concordia is an improved football team. Normally that's where you could attack the Cadets in years past, right up the middle, but they've got good linebackers and a couple of big guys in that defensive front. Second down, long 8. It's going to be a throw. Nieves, quick throw out to the outside, and it's caught by Jordan Brooks. Ball comes free, and has Concordia got it, or are they going to say he was down? Looks like Concordia came away with the football, but I think they're giving it, let's see. They still haven't really signaled. They're going to have a huddle. The officials are going to have to talk about whose ball it is. It's sitting at the 43. The ball came out from Jordan Brooks after he made the catch near sideline. Open field tackle by the Cadets, stripped the ball away. It looked like it was recovered by Concordia right in front of the Luers bench, but now we have to wait and determine what our officials will rule, and they're going to give it to Bishop Luers. And let's see where they mark it. It's back at the 43, so it's no gain. It will be third down and about 9. They'll sit it at the 44-yard line of Concordia.
I have to wonder if maybe on the strip, if the ball hit the out-of-bounds line, or if the player recovering it may have been out of bounds when he recovered it.
So it's third down 9 facing the Bishop Luers Knights with the ball positioned on the left hash. Arian Nieves, the Bishop Luers quarterback, has an empty backfield. 3 receivers right, 2 left. Shotgun snap. Nieves drops in the pocket. He's got some time. Now he's going to scramble to his left. Still time. Here comes the pressure. Nieves rolls to his right to escape it. Still running and then throwing. Deep downfield. Got a man! It's caught near the 10-yard line, but a flag in the Bishop Luers backfield. This one may come back.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's in that general vicinity of holding. A big play. Normally, you often see this when a quarterback extends the play like that.
It is a hold against Bishop Luers. Well, that's the thing Nieves had all day, and when you scramble left and then go back right, the linemen lose their leverage on who they're blocking, and somebody's going to reach out and grab. It's just almost a natural reaction, and the official's right there to throw the flag, and so 10 yards marched off from the spot of the foul. This is a big penalty because it happened about 8 or 9 yards deep in the backfield. This is going to put it all the way back at the Bishop Luers 37-yard line, and they've got to get to Concordia's 35 for the first. So it's third and 28.
Tough job for an offensive lineman. Normally when the quarterback throws from the pocket, you know where he's at, but when he gets out on the move, it makes your job a lot tougher.
Same formation, 2 receivers left, 3 to the right. Ball's in the center of the field on this third and 28 from their own 37. And they're going to throw a wide receiver screen. It's caught 40, 45, 50, and finally knocked out of bounds as he crosses into Concordia territory, but a long way short of getting the first down. Knocked out at the 49-yard line, where that'll be a 14-yard pickup, but they needed 28. So it's fourth down and 14, and Bishop Luers will punt.
Tried to get a quick screen out to Deshaun Bussell, just let their playmaker make a play, and he got some yardage, but not enough.
This is a case of field position because now they can punt it deep, maybe get it into the end zone, avoid a return of a kick. It's going to have to boom it, though, from the 49-yard line, kicking from the south to the north here at Luers Field. We're in the west side press box. The snap is bobbled, but Concordia with no pressure. There got the return on. Ball is caught in the air at the 22 and making it out to about the 25-yard line on the return. Not much of a return, but Concordia takes over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Here comes the Cadets offense. It's led by Peter Morrison, a senior at 5'10", 185 pounds. He'll be the quarterback. In the backfield, you find Peterson Kurlegrand, a 5'10", 180-pound running back. A couple of the wideouts have had outstanding years, including Colton Grahovac, who's wearing number 1, the junior at 5'11", 165 pounds. And number 34 is Mark Mallers. He's a senior target at 6 foot, 155 pounds. From the left hash, shotgun for Morrison. Single back is Kurlegrand. They put 2 receivers to the right, and they give it to Kurlegrand. Kurlegrand is met before he gets back to the line of scrimmage. He'll be gang tackled, and leading the way, Anton Berry, the senior defensive end at 6'6", 213 pounds. And that will be no gain. They'll put it right back on the 25-yard line. Good defense on that running play by the Bishop Luers Knights.
Yep, that's exactly what they're trying to do. Stop that running game right up the middle. I think they just tried for a quick trap play, and Luers was ready.
Trips move to the right. In fact, they run quads. They've got 4 receivers over here on the near side. Ball's near the center of the field. Shotgun and empty backfield. Morrison, and it's a quick screen. It's caught by Kurlegrand. He avoids one at the 40, 45, or 30, 35, 40. And they'll say he stepped out of bounds somewhere near the 39-yard line. But that'll be 14 yards and a first down. Concordia came out in that set, Corey, and they basically just outnumbered Bishop Luers by putting 4 men on this side.
You mentioned in pregame about new wrinkles for an opponent that you've seen once before, and that was one of them.
Here comes Morrison running in from the Concordia sideline on the far side of the field. He's bringing in the play. The clock runs here in the first quarter. 9 minutes, 11 seconds, and it is scoreless between the Cadets and the Bishop Luers Knights. The ball's now sent on the right hash. Trip receivers to the wide side left. Single back is Kurlegrand, and dropping to throw is Morrison. He'll throw over to the left flat, and it's short. And in front of Mallers. Mallers was really about the line of scrimmage out on that far left side, so he was an underneath receiver, but badly underthrown by Morrison. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Looks like Luers is going with a man-to-man coverage out of the gate here. They're manning up on all those receivers with a free safety over the top to try to defend that Concordia passing game.
2nd down 10 from their own 39-yard line. Cadets got a defensive stop on Luers' first series. Now they've got their first possession. 3 receivers left and a give up the middle. Here's Kurlegrand. Kurlegrand pulls a tackler out to about the 45. They'll give him the 46. That's 7 yards. And the last 3 of it was Kurlegrand just taking a Luers tackler with him. Almost had that gap up the middle, and that's the thing, is if you come up tight and you've got man-to-man wide on the outside, it doesn't take much of a seam to be a big breaker right up the middle.
That was that quick hitting trap play they love, and that guard pulled around the center, trapped that defensive tackle, and pretty big gain right up the middle.
Now it's 3rd down and about 3. Just outside their own 46-yard line. Cadets put Mallers in motion, right to left across formation. An option play to the left. There's the pitch to Kurlegrand. He's met in the backfield, and he can't get back to the line of scrimmage. A 1.5 yard loss back at the 45. And that is textbook defense on the option play. And it's Anton Berry again coming up with a tackle.
That's a play that Concordia used against Bishop Luers a lot the first time that they played them. A speed option with some motion, and you can tell that they had seen that before.
So it's a 4th down for the Cadets. They'll line up as if they're going for it from their own 45-yard line. Morrison, shotgun, Kurlegrand, the lone back, 3 receivers right, and it'll be a kick out of the shotgun snap, and there's nobody back, and that's one way you avoid the return, and the ball will roll dead inside the 15.
That is great strategy there on the part of Concordia with quarterback kicking that ball quickly from the shotgun set, and as you mentioned, Brett, nobody back to return it, so you get all the roll.
Getting a report on the Homestead-Warsaw game. Warsaw 3 and out on their first possession. Homestead went right down the field and scored, and the Spartans lead at 7-0 over Warsaw in the first quarter. Bishop Luers with the football. We're in the first quarter with 7:36 to play. Scoreless, and now the Knights with Arian Nieves in the gun, 2 backs, and he'll give. Looks like Hambright this time with the carry. Hambright takes it right side of the line and doesn't get much, maybe a couple of yards out to about the 16 or 17 yard line. It'll be second down and long.
Bishop Luers has 2 great running backs in their stable here between Hambright and Charlton, and that was Hambright on a little what I would call an inside zone play, and picked up a few.
Second down, we'll call it 8 with the ball just outside the 16-yard line. Single back now, right shoulder of Nieves. They've got 2 wide each side. And a quick drop, quick throw to the far right sideline. Bussell has it go off his hands, incomplete. A high throw, Bussell went up to get it and couldn't bring it down, so it'll be third down and 8. And, you know, that's a high-risk play on second and long, because if you don't complete it, you put yourself in a tough position here deep in your own end with third and long. But I think that's a pass that Bussell would like to have back.
Concordia was giving quite a bit of cushion on the corners there, and they thought they'd take advantage of it with a quick hitch or a quick hook route there, and just didn't complete it.
Third down, 8. Ball's around the 16-yard line for Luers. Here's Nieves looking to drop. It's going to be a quarterback keeper. He'll tuck it up the middle. He's across the 20, 25 to about the 26, and a flag back near the line of scrimmage. Nieves has the first down. He crossed the 26-yard line, but let's see the flag, and it's going to be a hold against Bishop Luers. That's 2 of those against the Knights, and they've been costly.
Arian Nieves, I saw him play earlier this season when he had first come back from injury, and I can tell you 3 or 4 games later, he is much more mobile than he was about a month ago.
Early score from Goshen has the Snyder Panthers behind the Goshen Redhawks 3-0. Both teams with a turnover early. They've got about 7 minutes on the clock up in Goshen, but the Panthers trail 3-0. Also an early score in 4A action. Bishop Dwenger has jumped out on New Haven 6-0. Arian Nieves in the gun. Now the ball's marked back at around the 8-yard line. He'll drop in the pocket, look to throw. Has time. Now he's going to tuck, roll to his left. Here comes pressure. He rolls, and he finally just throws it away. No receiver in the area, and that's going to be a flag. It's not the college rule once you get outside the pocket in high school football. Nieves, once he got wide of the numbers, he just fired it into open space in the sideline, but that will be an intentional grounding, a spot foul, a loss of down, and now Bishop Luers will have to put the punting unit out there, and they're going to have to punt from their own end zone.
That is a really costly penalty. That intentional grounding penalty is one that is just, it's miserable for your offense to take that penalty. But I have to wonder, after watching him do that, if he understands the rule.
Yeah, you almost think that after watching college and pro, where once you get outside the pocket, you can throw the ball away. You see those teams do it. Maybe that's where he got it. But now from the 3-yard line, they've got a punt, and back at the back of the end zone, it is their kicker, Peyton Howe, and he does get the kick away, but it's a very short kick, and it's mishandled by Mallers at the 29-yard line. It's recovered by Bishop Luers. Concordia would have had great field position on a short punt, and instead it turns into a turnover, and the Knights get possession.
Yep.
At the 29, that's a big break. They'll put it at the 28.
Big momentum changer there. Obviously, those are the kinds of mistakes in a sectional final that you don't want to see. The only saving grace for Concordia is maybe the fact that it's still deep in the Luers' end.
The Knights get it 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line. Nieves, little crossbuck play, and they give it to Charlton. He's got a nice hole across the 35, the 40, all the way out to the 42-yard line. Almost 14 yards on that carry by Jalen Charlton. Little misdirection. set up a nice hole behind the left side of the line for Charlton.
You called that exactly right. That was absolutely a cross-buck play, and a lot of success on that.
When they put the two back split on each side of Nieves, they had Hambright going to the right and Charlton coming back to the left. And it's going to be Kanapke at quarterback. Here's the handoff up the middle. And Charlton, again a nice hole. Crosses the 50 into Concordia territory. And look at Charlton fight all the way to the 44. Another big gain of about 13 yards. And a lot of that was Jalen Charlton and Norman Kanapke, the sophomore, in a quarterback for the Bishop Luers Knights. And, you know, I'm not sure, I didn't see the extension of the play with Nieves after he threw that ball out of bounds. I'm guessing he might have gone down after throwing it. He was being chased, and it looks like he went down on his left shoulder, and they're taking a look at it here on the near sideline. So Kanapke gives a handoff to Charlton. The ball is free. It bounces to the turf, but it's covered by Bishop Luers. And that's an alert play by a lineman for the Knights. And that is Trey Underwood. Of course, he's a good lineman, good football player, one of the captains for the Bishop Luers Knights. And he jumps on the loose ball, but it is a loss of about 3 yards back to the 48, where it's second down and 13.
We're 7-8 minutes into this football game, Brett, and we have seen 3 or 4 footballs on the ground already.
Second down, 13 from the Concordia 48. Bishop Luers with the football. 4.5 minutes left first quarter. We're scoreless. And there's a delayed draw. Charlton up the middle. Nice hole, but the ball comes free again. And this time Concordia will jump on it at the 39-yard line. Back-to-back fumbles. Charlton was bailed out by his lineman Trey Underwood on the first, but this time the ball came free, and it's Concordia that will take possession at their own 39-yard line.
Feel bad for Jalen Charlton. He's running hard in there and with a lot of power, but he's got to protect that football with a little bit more ball security.
So the Cadets line up. 4:27 on the clock in the first quarter, still scoreless. Give Curligran up the middle. Follows his left guard across the 40 to the 42-yard line. It's about a 3-yard gain, maybe 4. Tough yards for Curligran between the tackles. It'll be second down and a long 6 near the 43-yard line for the Cadets.
Staying with that quick hitting trap play up the middle.
They bunch 2 receivers tight together, wide right. Same on the left side. Single back Curligran. Morrison drops. He's looking left the whole way. Throws far sideline. It is caught by Drew Bordner. And Bordner taken out of bounds near the 48-yard line. That'll probably be about a half yard short of the first. They're going to say it's third down and a half yard at the 48. They need the 49 for the first.
There's an adjustment to the man-to-man defense coverage they're getting from Luers. They went with stacked receivers there, Brett, to try to alleviate some of that jam off the line of scrimmage. Good adjustment by Concordia.
So a third down and short at the 48. They'll need to cross the 49 for the first. Man in motion across formation is Bordner. They'll give to the running back Curligran, and Curligran puts down the shoulder pads and gets to the 50. That's enough for a first down for the Cadets.
Another quick hitter right up the middle, just enough to get that first down by Curligran.
Ball is sitting right on the 50-yard line and centered between the hash marks. We're late in the first quarter. A scoreless game between the Concordia Cadets and the Bishop Luers Knights here at Luers Field. Sectional championship on the line. In fact, just down the way, we've got the sectional championship trophy ready to present after the game. New Haven has scored to take the lead over Bishop Dwenger, 7-6. Late first quarter. 2 wide each side. Single back Curligran. In the gun, it's Peter Morrison for the Concordia Cadets. First and 10 at the 50. Option play to the left. And a keeper Morrison. Nice hole. 45, 40. Still on his feet at the 35, 30. Cuts to the sideline. And finally taken out of bounds somewhere near the 20-yard line. 30 yards for Morrison on the option. They played it perfectly the first time. That time, you mentioned it earlier, they over-pursued it. They went wide, and Morrison saw the cutback lane and made a nice run.
Yeah, what happened there was they defended the pitch man and not the quarterback. So Morrison really heads up play there to just take it right straight up field and get yardage, and it was a big play.
1st and 10 at the Knights 20. Concordia knocking on the door of a scoreless game late first quarter. 5 wide, empty backfield. 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Morrison has a man in motion. It's Kurlegrand from the slot left across formation to the right, and they're going deep in the end zone. Wide open is Mallers. Touchdown, Cadets. Breakdown in the coverage. Mallers went right down the seam, and nobody for the Knights picked him up. It's Concordia that strikes. A touchdown pass, 20 yards. Morrison to Mallers with 2:51 remaining in the quarter. Cadets lead it 6-0.
They ran the perfect play off of the screen play to Kurlegrand earlier in the game. They ran what we would call the sucker play off of that, where they faked that throw to the screen pass, and then had a receiver right down the middle of the field Mallers to make a great catch there. He was wide open and easy touchdown.
Mallers will hold for Peter Morrison to try to add the extra point. Snap a little high. The set is down. We've got a flag in the backfield. The kick no good. It went under the crossbar. Just the entire play was a bust up for Concordia. And it's going to be an illegal procedure called against the Cadets. So the kick no good. It'll stay 6-0. A scoring drive presented by Best Deal Auto Sales. If you want to score on your next drive, get a car, truck, or SUV from any of the 5 Best Deal Auto Sales locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales. It's the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week. We're at Lewis Field with 2:51 remaining in our opening quarter. Cadets lead at 6-0 on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
First quarter score. The Ravens 7, Bishop Leonard 6.
And 100.9 FM.
Back at Lewis Field, where the Concordia Cadets have jumped out to a 6-0 lead over the Bishop Lewis Knights. 2:51 remaining opening quarter. The Snyder Panthers have bounced back. They have taken the lead over the Goshen Redhawks 7-3. A 52-yard touchdown run by Christian Covington has the Panthers in front. Here's the kick, and it's a high, short kick. Caught on the run at the 20, 25, 30. Here comes Bussell on the return, coming near sideline, 35, 40, and finally dragged down out near the 42-yard line. That's why you don't want to get it in the hands of Bussell. He can cross the field from the right side to the left, and he can get around that edge. He was close, but not quite.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that. From a strategy standpoint, they kicked it short, but they still kicked it to Bussell, so...
And that might have been for Concordia's kicker. That might have been kicking it deep because Bussell was only lined up, I think, around the 10-yard line, expecting a shorter kickoff. So you got 3 wide, a slot to the right, single back Charlton, and Charlton will get the handoff. Looks for a hole, and here comes Concordia's pursuit, and they'll take Charlton down for a 2-yard loss. Of course, it's still Norman Kanapke, a sophomore quarterback, 6'1", 160, who's in relief of the injured Arian Nieves, and it looks like Nieves might have ended his night. He's got an ice bag on the shoulder. He went down hard on the shoulder when he scrambled out of the pocket earlier, and it just looks like he's probably not going to return. He's got the pads off. He's got the ice pack on his right shoulder, and it looks like Nieves' night might be through. From the 40-yard line, second down, 12. Roll to the right, Kanapke will throw. Comeback route, far sideline. Bussell makes the catch at the 48. Immediately knocked backwards. I think they'll say the progress is to the 47. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 5 for the Bishop Luers Knights.
Norman Napke looked real good on that rollout pass. They may like what they have here. Good route by Bussell as well, and gives them 3rd and manageable here with 3rd and 5.
They've reached the end of the first quarter at Warsaw, and Homestead a 7-0 lead over the Tigers. 3rd down, 5. From their own 47-yard line, Kanapke, the shotgun snap goes through his hands, bounces right back up to him. He'll roll to the left, he'll throw near sideline. It's caught at the 45 of Concordia, knocked out of bounds, almost to the 35, maybe even the 34, but there's a flag in the backfield.
The general vicinity of holding again.
And Luers heading back already, so this one's going to bring it back. Boy, a nice play and a recovery. Anton Berry, the recipient of the pass from Kanapke, and the sophomore kept his composure despite having the snap slip right through his hands. They got fortunate that it bounced right back up to him, and he rolled out to his left and made a nice throw to Berry, but it's all for naught because they're marking off 10 yards against the Knights back to the 30-yard line. And the Knights going backwards. They went from 3rd and 5 to where now they're facing a 3rd and 22.
That composure that he maintained in the heat of that moment tells me that this sophomore's got a bright future ahead of him.
He's got some quarterbacking in the genetics with, of course, his older brother, a quarterback at Bowling Green. They'll put a slot to the left, and there's movement up front. And that's going to be both Underwood and Anton Berry. And then, Corey, I think that's a situation where you're not used to the backup quarterback's cadence. You haven't had maybe some reps with him this week, and it looked like both Berry and Underwood were surprised by something in the hard count. They jump, and that's 5 more yards marched off against the Knights.
I think you're exactly right. Yeah, the cadence is often, you don't notice it until you have a problem with it.
So Kanapke comes over to the near sideline, gets the play call from Coach Kyle Lindsay. He's talking about quarterback connections. Kyle Lindsay was a good one in his day here at Bishop Luers. So now it's 3rd and a mile, and they're going to run jet sweep. Bussell bringing it right to left, cuts it up at the hash marks, and gets tripped up as he crosses the 35 out to the 37-yard line. So way short of any idea of a first down. At the 37, they've got to get to the Concordia 48, so it's going to be 4th down and 15. A 6-0 lead for the Cadets. And Bishop Luers will send the punt unit on as the clock ticks the last 40 seconds of our first quarter.
Jet sweep is a very low-risk play to get the ball to your athlete in space there.
Back to punt, Peyton Howe. He's a junior punter. Stands at his own 23-yard line, and there's the snap. It's a good one, and the kick is away. High kick near sideline. Mallers will make the fair catch at about the 35-yard line. So Cadets get the ball at their own 35, and New Haven has scored again to extend their lead. They're now up 14-6 over Bishop Dwenger in a Class 4A sectional. Waiting for the last 14.9 seconds of the first quarter to tick away here, and Concordia has it 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. Peter Morrison, the senior quarterback, former wide receiver, took over at quarterback after Sparks graduated last year. They needed Morrison to run the offense, and what a job he has done as the Concordia signal caller. They hand it to Curl LeGrand. Up the middle, he fights for about 3 yards, maybe 4, and that'll be the last play of our first quarter. So after our first session, we have a Concordia 6-0 lead over the Bishop Luers Knights here at Luers Field. You're listening to the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Second quarter score, Class 6A. Homestead 14, Warsaw nothing. Class 4A. Northwood 22, East Oval nothing.
Welcome to Friday Night Football, presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Second quarter score, Class 4A. Remaining 14, 51-6.
Through one quarter here at Lewis Field, and it's Concordia 6-0. They've got the football to start the second at their own 38-yard line. It's second down and about 7. Drop in the pocket, Morrison. Now he's going to roll to the right, escapes the pressure, crosses the line of scrimmage, and takes for positive yardage across the 40. Maybe a couple-yard gain for Morrison, escaping pressure in the pocket. And it's going to bring up a third down and 5 for the Cadets.
That drives defensive coordinators nuts. You make a play on the quarterback, you force him out of the pocket by putting pressure on him, but he escapes for positive yardage.
Third down 6.
Coming up at halftime, we've got the McDonald's halftime scoreboard. DC Hendricks will update us on area sectional championship scores coming up at the break, and a couple of eye-openers so far early. Third down 5. Concordia at their own 40-yard line. They need the 45 for the first. From the right hash, dropping the pocket, Morrison looking left, throwing left, and he threw it behind Mallers at the 43-yard line. Mallers running an out route, and the ball clearly a yard or two behind him. And you know, Corey, we talked before the game about the accuracy of Morrison, and so far he's missed badly on a couple of fairly easy throws.
We can blame that one on Trey Underwood from Bishop Lures. Did a great job of getting pressure on him right up the middle and forced Morrison to throw that before he really wanted to.
And fourth down, again, Concordia will line up as if they're going for it. Last time they showed us this formation, and they quick kicked it. Morrison is the punter as well as the quarterback, and he's going to do it again. From 5 yards deep, he kicks it, and it bounces at the 35, inside the 30, inside the 25, rolls dead down to about the 21-yard line. So that will be a 39-yard kick, no return. And at the 21, Bishop Luers takes over, down 6-0 here early in the second quarter at Luers Field. The rematch between the Concordia Cadets and the Bishop Luers Knights. The original game, Concordia won it 34-16 here at Luers Field. And now the Knights offense with sophomore quarterback Norman Kanapke in for the injured Arian Nieves, and the Knights relying on the sophomore to get something going offensively. They'll set up a screen, and then they'll throw it over the middle instead to Bussell, and Bussell with a drop. It's his second drop. Boy, that was a interesting play, almost a misdirection type screen. They ran somebody wide to the right. Kanapke looked at him, but then Bussell kind of tucked across the middle, and they dumped it off to him right in his hands.
We call that a jailbreak screen, and it was there. If all he had to do was catch that ball, and I think he had a pretty big play on his hands, but he dropped it.
Snyder now down to Goshen, 9-7, 11:08 left in the second quarter. Panthers struggling. Up taking on the Red Hawks. Again, the crossbuck. Here comes Hambright, bringing it right side. He'll take it to the 25-yard line. They ran that play before, faking to Hambright coming right and giving to Charlton left for a big gain earlier. That time, Hambright gets about 5 yards, and it's going to bring up a third down, and we'll call it 6. From the 25, they need the 31 to get the first. We're in the second quarter here at Luers Field. 11:04, and the clock is running, and it's 6-0 Concordia. Bishop Luers with the football from the right hash. Kanapke lines up in the gun, 5 yards back, trip receivers left, 2 to the right, and Kanapke will drop in the pocket. He's throwing it deep, near sideline, wide open midfield. The ball is caught by Camden Childers. He's down the sideline, inside the 30, and taken out of bounds near the 26-yard line.
They ran a little twist combination route on the right side where the inside receiver runs down the sideline and the outside receiver cuts into the middle, and he just came uncovered on the outside.
A 49-yard pass play, a first down for Bishop Luers at the Cadets' 26-yard line. Luers trails it 6-0. Let's see if that gives their offense a spark, and they'll line up with 2 receivers out each side. A single back is Charlton, and it's a handoff to Charlton. Bringing it behind the right tackle. Cuts up and spins away from 1 at the 25 and gets to about the 22. 4-yard gain for Charlton on first down. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Bishop Luers Knights.
Concordia doing a pretty nice job against Luers' run game there. They've had a few minor gains, but nothing major yet, and I think that's their end goal, is just to keep it to a minimum.
Again, Arian Nieves was injured in the first quarter. He's out of the game. The sophomore backup, Norman Kanapke, is in from the right hash. Kanapke drops in the pocket, a pump fake, and now a go into the end zone. Rolling up, catch is made, touchdown, Bishop Luers. And again they go to Camden Childers, a sophomore wide receiver. Touchdown Knights, and now an extra point could put Bishop Luers in front.
I think we've just seen a quarterback to receiver combo that they're going to be talking about down here on the south side of town for the next couple of years. 2 sophomores connecting on a really nice play there.
Little pump fake and then go, and Childers got behind the defender in the end zone, and a well-placed ball by Kanapke. The extra point to give them the lead. The kick is up, and the Knights take the lead. With 9:56 remaining in the second quarter, it's now 7-6 Bishop Luers leading it over the Concordia Cadets. It's a scoring drive presented by Best Deal Auto Sales. If you want to score on your next drive, be sure to get a car, truck, or SUV from any of the 5 Best Deal Auto Sales locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales. This is the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
And now, your quarterback, Chevrolet.
Let's go, 22 or 23? You 22 or 23?
I said 23 yard. Oh, wow, New Haven scored again, 21-6.
Well, all these close games haven't been close. Man, Northwood just jumping all over.
I just got a text on that game that they're down. East Noble's down 22-0 and has run 5 offensive plays.
Presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
A 79-yard scoring drive for the Bishop Luers Knights. A 49-yard pass play, the catalyst. And then they finish it off with a 23-yard touchdown pass. Both connections between sophomore quarterback Norman Kanapke and sophomore receiver Camden Childers. And the Knights have taken the lead 7-6 over the Concordia Cadets. Here's the kickoff. It's a deep kick, far side. It bounces inside the 15, picked up around the 8, and taken down in open field near the 13 or 14-yard line. Good coverage on the kick, and Concordia will have themselves backed up here, starting around the 13-yard line.
They kicked it deep to Curligrand, but they had Deshaun Bussell, their fastest player, down on coverage to make the tackle.
Great play by Bussell. May have a couple of drops offensively, but didn't take away a step on that kickoff coverage. Now the Cadets start 1st and 10 at their own 13-yard line. They trail for the first time, 7-6. Morrison with Curligrand behind him. They'll run the speed option to the right, pitch to Curligrand, and there's just not enough room to get around the edge. He's knocked out of bounds, just barely getting past the line of scrimmage.
Yep, running that speed option into the short side of the field is always difficult. Not a lot of real estate to work with over there, and plus that's a play that Luers has seen a bunch between the first game and the first half so far tonight.
They give Curligrand a couple out to the 15-yard line. 2nd down and 8 from the right hash. Cadets with the football, trailing 7-6. We're in the second quarter here at Luers Field. Morrison has 2 receivers, wide left bunched together, a slot to the right, and a drop in the pocket for Morrison. Looks right, doesn't see anything, scrambles to the left. Now he's going to tuck it, and he'll run right into the defenders at the 10-yard line, and he'll go down. A big sack by the Bishop Luers defense, and Trey Underwood leads the way.
Just exactly what we talked about in pregame about those defensive linemen staying in their lanes, keeping him in the pocket, and then converging on him. Morrison had nowhere to go on that play.
From their own 10-yard line, it's 3rd down and 14. Maybe 3rd and 13, let's call it, because they need about the 23, maybe the 23 and a half to get the first down here. Dangerous territory. Morrison's going to have to be careful. He'll put 4 wide, 2 each side. Curligran in the backfield. Morrison from the gun drops near his own goal line. He throws it deep and over everyone's head out near midfield, throwing into double coverage to Mallers, but Bishop Luers had a safety playing center field, and Morrison, to be honest, lucky that didn't get intercepted.
He is. They had double coverage back there, and he just I think he was just simply trying to get it out of there.
He threw it so far over the receiver's head that even the safety in center field hadn't backed up that far yet. So now it's 4th down, and you're going to have the Cadets lining up the punt from their own end zone. It'll be Peter Morrison who's standing in the middle of the end zone. Ball's on the 10-yard line. And in midfield, Deshaun Bussell among the pair of Bishop Luers Knights waiting for the return. And a bad snap, and Morrison gets the kick away and then gets knocked down in the end zone. We've got a flag, and the kick a short one. It will roll dead out near the 28 or 29-yard line. Morrison, just unbelievable, even got that away. The snap bounced its way back to him. The rush was there. They missed the football as Morrison kicked it, but Morrison went down, and it's a personal foul. And on 4th and 13, that'll be a 15-yard penalty and a first down for the Cadets.
Boy, that is a really tough call for the Luers sideline, because that ball dribbled back to the punter. He looked like he wasn't going to be able to even get a punt off. He gets it off, and they stick him, and they draw the personal foul 15-yard flag there.
So the ball will be moved all the way out to the Concordia 25. The change will move. Concordia keeps possession, 1st and 10. They trail 7-6 to the Bishop Luers Knights. We're in the second quarter with 8:19 left before our break. 3 receivers left, and one of them in motion. Mallers crosses the formation left to right, dropping the pocket for Morrison. He looks left, throws on a quick slant, and it's behind the receiver again. Trying to find Kamari Anderson-Drew, but he threw it behind him, and that's about the 3rd ball that we've seen Morrison throw behind a receiver.
Got a couple of things going on there, Brett, that I think is affecting his accuracy. I think number one, obviously they're getting some pressure on him in the pocket, but I think secondarily, the man-to-man defense and the jam press coverage that Luers is using is throwing off the timing of their routes.
Again, they'll put the trips to the left, wide side of the field. You got a single receiver right, lone back Curligran, and dropping the pocket Morrison, looking. Now he'll scramble to the right, run all the way far sideline, down the sideline, positive yards across the 30, and knocked out of bounds near the 33-yard line. That'll be a keeper, good for about 6 or 7 yards by Morrison. You talked about not letting him escape the pocket. And again, that's what he likes to do. When he senses pressure, he looks for the open side and tries to get wide. He did it that time and ended up picking up a good 7 yards.
He is so good at that. He is so slippery back there, and he turns a play that probably should have been incomplete or a loss of yardage into a nice gain.
2nd down, we'll call it 3, or rather 3rd down and 3 from the 33-yard line. Give to Curligran. He bounces it wide right, and here's the pressure, and he goes down for a loss back at the 30 or 31-yard line. Wow, what defense that time by Chance Richard, the senior linebacker who just busted in like he'd read the play and took down Curligran for a loss. 4th down and about 4.5 from their own 31-yard line.
Huge defensive stop there by Richard, and takes the momentum away from that rough call that they just had in the end zone on the roughing the kicker.
Homestead extends their lead. They're now up 21-0 in the second quarter. Snyder has claimed the lead against Goshen. Here's the punt. And again, Morrison, a low-line drive that takes a big Concordia roll inside the 30, down to the Knights' 25, where it's downed by Gray Hovac. And It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bishop Luers Knights. Leading it 7-6 over the Concordia Cadets. Second quarter here at Luers Field. Of course, our issue here is that the press box has big block walls that block us from the scoreboard. Just outside their own 25, maybe closer to the 26. The Knights start, and so far, sophomore quarterback Norman Kanapke, who earlier this year had to fill in for an injured Arian Nieves, is doing it again. And he looked good on the last drive. And a high snap, and it goes right through Kanapke's hands, and it's going to be jumped on by Concordia. A turnover against the Knights from deep in their own end. The Cadets will take over near the 15-yard line. 1st and 10, and that's the second time Kanapke's had that shotgun snap go right through his hands. This time it results in a turnover.
Liam Fletcher on the recovery there, and it's kind of the same old story on the shotgun snap. Nobody ever notices it until there's a problem with it.
And that's the second time there's been a problem, but the first time the Knights were able to escape when the ball bounced right back up to Kanapke. This time it got away from him, and Concordia now in the red zone, taking over a possession near the 15. And they'll give it up the middle. It's Curl LeGrand breaking away from tackles at the 15, inside the 10, inside the 5. He gets all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Concordia. What a run by Curl LeGrand, refusing to go down. He was in the grasp of 3 or 4 Knights defenders and just refused to go to the turf.
Outstanding 15-yard run there by Peterson. Curl LeGrand, he had to break 4 or 5 tackles on that run, Brett.
7:03 on the clock, second quarter, and the Concordia Cadets have retaken the lead, 12-7. And now let's see if they go for 2. Looks like they might be lining up the offense to try to go for 2 here. A little surprised by this decision, Corey?
Yeah, it's a little early to be chasing points like this.
Man in motion from the left slot, then reverses and goes back left. And it'll be a little reverse pitch. Here comes Mallers. He will dive, somersault, and still come up short. Good defense staying at home as they ran what looked like the speed option to the right. But the slot from the right side of the formation was Mallers going the opposite direction. They pitched it to Mallers on the sweep to the left, and when he got hit at about the 3, he somersaulted through the air but came down around the 1 or 2 yard line. So the 2-point try, no good. It's a 12-7 score. Another scoring drive, a short one play, 15 yards, presented by Best Deal Auto Sales. If you want to score on your next drive, get a car, truck, or SUV from any of the 5 Best Deal Auto Sales locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales. We'll keep it here as the teams will come out to kick off. On the clock, 7 minutes and 3 seconds. It is 12-7. Concordia, the lead over the Bishop Luers Knights. And Cadets didn't take long to make Luers pay for that turnover. One play, a 15-yard run by Peterson Curl LeGrand, and the Cadets in front.
That just speaks to mistakes, Brett. I mean, we talked about it in the pregame. You can't have turnovers at this stage in the season, and that one really came back to bite them.
So the Cadets to kick off after reclaiming the lead. As we await, it'll be Morrison to kick. Deshaun Bussell and Tyrion Hambright are back deep, and they'll kick it short. Taken by Gilly at the 35. He tries to get to the middle of the field, going east and west from that left sideline, and he gets taken down, no return. So the Knights will start at their own 35-yard line, trailing 12-7 to the Concordia Cadets. Kyle Lindsey with some final words for sophomore quarterback Norman Kanapke. He's 6'1", 160 pounds. Of course, Nieves, the quarterback that got injured in the first quarter, a senior, so expect to see a lot of Kanapke next year running this Knights offense from the center of the field. Crossbuck play. They'll give to the second running back, and Concordia all over it. That time the Cadets get penetration and they take down Charlton for a loss of about 2 yards.
Concordia linebacker Gabe Voss in there, and he was not buying the initial fake on that cross buck and stuck him in the backfield.
At the 34, it'll be second down, short 12. Kanapke comes all the way to the near sideline, gets the play, and then the long jog out to the huddle. Play clock goes under 15 seconds as the Knights break and come to the line of scrimmage with 3 receivers to the right, 1 left, and a single back. Drop and a quick throw on a screen. They throw it high, but it's caught by Hambright. Tries to get back to the line of scrimmage, doesn't get the blocking he needs, and it's a very short gain, only a yard, maybe 2, out to about the 36.
Tremendous defensive pursuit by Concordia there. Mallers on the stop, but he was surrounded by a number of his teammates on that tackle.
So it's third down and 10 from their own 36-yard line. Knights with the football, trailing the Concordia Cadets 12-7. 5:45 the clock runs here in the second quarter. At halftime, the McDonald's halftime scoreboard updating you on all the action of Northeast Indiana High School Football Sectional Championship football. Here's from the right hash, Kanapke drops. He's looking to throw, and he will throw it deep over the middle. Bustle right through his hands again. And incomplete, and it almost was picked off by Mallers after the drop by Bustle, but that's the third pass we've seen go right through his hands. And, you know, Corey, I'm wondering your position on this. As a former offensive coordinator, you see Bustle wearing the gloves. I don't know if there's certain temperature conditions. It's a cooler night here. Can the gloves get slippery? Because it's not like Bustle to drop 3 passes here in the first half.
That was the first thing that entered my mind as well. And you have some trouble with those gloves, particularly when there's moisture on them. So I don't know if maybe he's had his hands on the ground and the grass is starting to get some dew. But yeah, that's what it appears to me as well, Brett.
Here's the punt. High kick, signaled for a fair catch and taken by Mallers at his own 34-yard line. So the Cadets get the ball with a 5-point lead, 12-7. We're in the second quarter here at Lewis Field. 5:18 remains before halftime. Of course, the winner of this game will most likely play West Lafayette next week. Looking at sectional matchups tonight, you've got West Lafayette at 9-2 taking on Twin Lakes, only 4-7. So you would expect that West Lafayette will advance to the regional to take on the winner of this battle between Concordia and Bishop Luers. First and 10 for the Cadets at their own 35-yard line. Morrison will drop a middle screen. It's Curligran, 40, 45. Now he's cutting to the right at midfield. He's into Luers territory. 45, 40, 35. Far sideline. Luers pursues and finally catches up with him somewhere just inside the 20-yard line. You know, that's a situation, Corey, where Morrison only has to dump it about 4 yards in front of him on a middle screen, and then Curligran in space. It shows you how dangerous he can be to pick and choose where he runs. He got to the far sideline, turns it into a huge gain for the Cadets.
That's another one of those wrinkles, I think, that they brought out for this game. We have not seen Concordia run that play previously, and they started out in an empty formation. They brought Curligran in motion to the middle of the field and then turned him into the screen receiver.
So the ball's on the 16-yard line, first and 10, in the red zone again for the Concordia Cadets, already leading at 12-7. 2 receivers bunched wide left, 2 wide right, and here's Morrison throwing over the middle at the goal line. It's short and incomplete of Kamari Anderson-Drew. Second down and 10.
I will tell you, Brett, just as we had discussed earlier, the timing of their routes is throwing off the accuracy of the passing game. Luers is doing a nice job of getting that initial jam on the line of scrimmage on those receivers to throw off the timing of the route.
4:39 left before halftime, and Concordia trying to add to a 12-7 lead. Second down and 10 from the 16. 2 receivers each side. Ball's in the right hash. Morrison from the gun with Curligran, his right shoulder. And he'll throw toward the far pylon, and it's caught by Mallers. Touchdown, Cadets! Nice throw right on target to Mark Mallers. A 16-yard scoring strike. The Cadets are up 18-7.
Maller's got a free release on that one. There was no press coverage on him as the inside slot receiver, and he runs a corner route just perfectly. Morrison times it up and hits him in the corner.
4:32 remaining in the second quarter, 18-7. And now let's see if the Cadets go for one or two. They missed their first one-point try, went for two and were denied the last time, and the lineup going for two again. They got a wing to the left side of the formation, single back, wide out is Kamari Anderson-Drew left, and here's a keeper up the middle, and it goes for nothing. It won't be good. There's a flag down on top of it. And they'll call an illegal shift, I believe. The initial signal apparently is against Concordia. No, it's a hold. It's a hold against the Cadets. And so that will be declined. So again, Concordia can't tack on any extra points to the touchdown. They lead it 18-7 over the Bishop Luers Knights. We're in the second quarter with 4:32 left. Scoring drive presented by Best Deal Auto Sales. If you want to score on your next drive, get a car, truck, or SUV from any of the 5 Best Deal Auto Sales locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales. You're listening to the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Back to the field, presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Concordia brave enough to kick it deep, and it's taken by Gilly on the return. Takes it left side. There's a flag as he gets knocked out of bounds, crossing the 30-yard line. The flag lays at about the 27, and we'll have to turn our attention back to our official, Justin Chippy, who's going to call another hold, and this will march Luers back inside their own 20-yard line.
That's well said, Brett. Another hold.
Tell you, almost the way blocking is taught these days and how it's executed with the technique, you almost could probably go by the rule book and think that there might be a hold on every engaged block that's out there if you want to. The hands are used a lot more these days than our generation back in the day when we used to play, and you used to always be just basically hit with the pads and you couldn't really use the hands at all. Play action, Kanapke, a screen, and it's caught by Charlton far side. He's going to have first down yardage as he gets out to about the 30-yard line, picking up 12. Nice play. Luers had it set up well with blocking in front of Jalen Charlton on that screen to the left, and it's a first down for the Bishop Luers Knights at their own 30.
Year in, year out, Bishop Luers has been a program that can screen you as well as anybody in the city. They just are so good at it, and set them up and call them at the right time. So great call by Coach Lindsay there.
4 minutes, 17 seconds on the clock in the second quarter here at Luers Field. Concordia an 18-7 lead. Luers the ball. First and 10, their own 30. Roll to the right, Kanapke looking to throw. He rolls, and now he just flings it out here near midfield and out of bounds. There was a receiver, Deshaun Bussell, in the area, but an incomplete pass will make it second down and 10 for the Knights.
That doesn't look like much because it goes as an incomplete pass in the scorebook, but I'm here to tell you that it took a lot of composure for him to just throw that out of bounds like that near a receiver and live to fight another play.
2:27 left in the half up at Goshen, and the Snyder Panthers extend their lead. They're now up 21-9 over the Goshen Redhawks. Now, Snyder was very flat in that game early. They trailed at 1 point, 9-7. But a couple of touchdowns now has them in front up to the northwest. 4:10 on the clock, second quarter. And as the ball snapped, whistles and flags, and it's a false start against Bishop Luers, marching the Knights back 5 yards. You're seeing some of the mistakes, especially from a penalty standpoint, Corey, that you expect to see maybe in weeks 1 and 2. But a lot of these things you expect to see cleaned up by this point in the season.
Well, I wonder if, your thought a few drives ago about the change of quarterbacks and the cadence might not be continuing to affect the Luers offense here.
Second down, 15. They'll put the ball back at the 25-yard line. And, of course, Arian Nieves, the original starting quarterback, went out injured in the first quarter. We now are looking at sophomore Norman Kanapke. Quick screen pass. Bussell, 5 yards deep in the backfield. He comes to the right sideline, gets across 25, knocked out of bounds aggressively near the 29-yard line. That will bring up a third down and 11 from their own 29-yard line for the Bishop Luers Knights, who trail the Concordia Cadets 18-7 here late in the second quarter. Kanapke gets the play call from the near sideline, jogs out to the huddle where the Knights break with the ball in the right hash. Third down, 11 from the 29. They need the 40-yard line for a first down. Charlton, the lone back. 3 receivers to the wide side left, and it'll be play action. Kanapke looking to throw over the middle and behind his intended receiver, and you've got a flag. That's going to be a hold called on the Concordia Cadets. Gabe Vose.
That's a tough call, Brett, because he's standing there in his zone coverage, and the receiver really kind of runs into him. But the timing of the play, they're going to call it on the defender most every time.
It'll be ruled a pass interference call, and now remember, not an automatic first down in high school football. From the 29, they'll march the penalty, but I think it's still going to be a third down and short. Nope, I'm corrected. It's a 15-yard march off. That will give them the first down out at the 44-yard line.
This
Looking
crew
for them to march off 10. They took 15, and it's a 15-yard penalty, so it is first down.
Crew's wearing out the flags in the first half here, Brett.
You know when the officials show up and they got 3 flags in all their pockets, they're ready to go. Here's a handoff and a crossback. Charlton got a nice block at midfield. 45 of the Cadets, and finally taken down near the Concordia 41-yard line after picking up 15 yards.
Probably their most effective play of the first half has been that crossbuck, a little misdirection, and the big gain for them again.
Kind of takes Concordia's pursuit out because they have to kind of hold their spots until they see and read the entire play. And it allows Luers then some extra time to establish their blocks. Warsaw late touchdown just before the half, so it's 28-7 Homestead with the lead over the Warsaw Tigers. Handoff up the middle, and Charlton just ran into a wall, and that wall's wearing number 78, Andy Wade.
And Trey Freeman's there as well.
Trey Freeman, 2 of them came through the hole. A 1-yard loss back at the 42-yard line for Bishop Luers. They've got the football late first half, 3:07, and the clock continues to run. 18-7, the Concordia lead. Knights in Concordia territory at the Cadets 42-yard line. Norman Kanapke from the right hash has 2 receivers each side, looks left the whole way and throws far sideline, and it's caught at the Concordia 35, turning toward the sideline and taken down at the 34. That pass completed to Jordan Brooks, a 5'9", 154-pound wideout. It'll bring up a third down and about 3 for the Bishop Luers Knights.
Another one of those quick hitches or quick hook routes on the outside. Concordia's corners are giving a 10-plus yard cushion on alignment, and Luers has taken advantage of that yardage.
Third down, 3 from the left hash. Kanapke lines up in a gun. Man in motion across formation. And it'll be a handoff and then an option throw. Here's the pass for Bussell deep, and Mellors will go up deep at the 5 or at the 10-yard line and intercept it. Trick play doesn't work at all. Bussell was double covered. They handed it on what looked like a slow jet sweep to Camden Childers, the sophomore wide receiver. We've seen him on the other end of passes. That time when he took the handoff, he set up in the backfield to throw it deep. Ball kind of hung in the air, and Concordia had Bussell double-teamed, and Mallers comes up with the interception. Another turnover for the Bishop Luers Knights. Cadets take over. They'll put it at about the 8.5-yard line.
And a textbook piece of defensive back play by Mark Mallers, going up, catching that ball at its highest point. A great interception.
Ball will be placed on the left hash for Peter Morrison, the Cadets quarterback. Concordia with an 18-7 lead. Single back Curligran, 3 receivers right. You've got Anderson Drew, the lone receiver left, and throwing deep, Morrison. Mallers midfield, makes the catch, and taken down at the 50-yard line. It's a 42-yard play. Man-to-man coverage, running stride for stride with him was Contrez Jordan, but a perfectly thrown football and a big play for the Cadets. They got it at the 50, and time winding down, under 2 minutes left here in the first half.
I would argue, Brett, that was great defensive pass coverage. Mallers just went up and got it.
1st and 10, Cadets at midfield, trying to add to an 18-7 lead. Shotgun snap, and they'll hand it to Curligran. He's across the 50 as he breaks a tackle, gets to the Bishop Luers 46 after picking up 4. The clock will continue to run. We're down to 1:36, and a timeout is going to be called. Timeout called by Concordia. So a minute 36 left before the break. It's 2nd down and 6. Concordia has the ball on the Bishop Luers 46-yard line. You're listening to the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
And now, your Crumback Chevrolet starting lineup. The full-size pickup with power improvement performance. The redesigned Silverado with the perfect blend of form and function and named most dependable midsize car. The Malibu. Crumback helps you get the most out of every gallon with the groundbreaking Cruise, delivering 42 miles per gallon. It's the compact car with premium comfort. And the versatile Equinox takes you where you want to go in style. This starting lineup from Crumback Chevrolet, 930 East in New Haven, celebrating 45 years of helping the Fort Wayne area find new roads. Find us online at CrumbackChevy.com.
Let's send it back to the field. Presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Coming out of a timeout with 1:36 left in the first half, Concordia has the football, leading at 18-7 over the Bishop Luers Knights. 2nd down and 6 from the Knights' 46-yard line for the Cadets. Morrison stands at midfield, 4 yards deep in the backfield. He'll drop and look to throw from the pocket. Now he'll tuck it, run it up the middle, and get dragged down right at the line of scrimmage. Might have gained a yard to the 45.
Trey Underwood on a great play to track Morrison down and keep him from yardage and keep the clock running for that matter.
Underwood a good one, but again, to your point, Corey, when you have Morrison scrambled, that's where you want him to do it, is up the middle, keep containment. And then they were able to shut him down. So it's a 3rd down and 5. Morrison again can't find space up the middle. He keeps spinning around. He's about 8 yards deep in the backfield. Now he's going to just throw the ball up for grabs, and it's caught by Curligran. No, incomplete. They'll say he trapped it at the 35-yard line. Wow, what elusiveness for Morrison. He tucked it up the middle. He bounced back out of trouble, then spun his way to escape another defender before finally finding his footing to throw it downfield to Curligran, and that was almost completed. Now it's 4th down, and there's 52.4 seconds left. Concordia the ball on the Knights' 45, leading 18-7, and it looks like Coach Manigal is going to keep the offense out there and go for it. Of course, we don't know because Morrison has punted it from this formation a few times.
Absolutely right. That's the kind of play that Peter Morrison can give you, though. Amazing job of extending the play and not taking the sack.
And you know what it reminds me of, and I don't know if this is a compliment, but it's meant to be, Johnny Football.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a little bit of that in him. There's no doubt about it. He just seems to be able to extend the play long enough to make a play, and I think that's a great comparison at the high school level, Brett.
Timeout is called by the Concordia Cadets. They'll talk about this play on 4th down and 5 from the Bishop Luers 45-yard line. There's 52.4 seconds on the clock in the second quarter. Concordia leads at 18-7. Coming up at halftime, we're going to send it to the studio. You'll get a chance to hear a conversation that happened earlier this year between AWP founder and CEO Michael Lito, and Concordia quarterback Peter Morrison. Also, we'll have the McDonald's halftime scoreboard updating you on all the scores of area sectional championship games. DC Hendricks will drop that on you during our halftime break. Also, after the game, be sure to catch up with all the final scores as Darren Wright joins me for the Indiana Physical Therapy postgame show live from the Southgate Pizza Hut. So Concordia back on the field. It's a 4th down and 5. Morrison's in the gun 4 yards back of center. Kurlegrand the lone back. Morrison will drop, and he will look to throw. He looks. He's got time. He's trying to find a receiver. Throws far sideline. He's got a man open. It's caught, but then dropped on a big stick by the defender. And they'll say it's incomplete. Justin Gaston, a sophomore defensive back, came up and hit Kurlegrand hard from behind. The ball coughed up out of Kurlegrand's hands, and an incomplete pass turns it over on downs to the Bishop Lewis Knights.
That's a huge play by Justin Gaston. Concordia does that so well, where they run their running back Kurlegrand into the line of scrimmage. They have him pass block for a count, and then as Morrison extends the play, he slips off into the flat and is usually wide open, and he was there, but Gaston recovered so well.
So with 42.3 seconds left before halftime, 18-7, Concordia in front, but Luers has the football. And Kanapke will drop in the pocket, look to throw, and he's going to throw deep near sideline. Bussell had a nice double move and had some space, but the ball just underthrown at the Cadets' 25-yard line, incomplete. 37 seconds left here in the second quarter.
Oh, that's got to frustrate a coach on the sidelines. I'm sure Coach Lindsay sees Bussell running all by himself out there wide open and not being able to get him the football.
It's Norman Kanapke, the sophomore backup quarterback who took over late in the first quarter when starter Arian Nieves got hurt being tackled after throwing a football out of bounds. Nieves without the pads and jersey on in the near sideline. There's the handoff to Hambright, and it looks like the white flag goes up for Kyle Lindsay. Handoff up the middle goes for no gain, but now we've got a whistle, and I think they'll take a timeout, so maybe not. Thought when they ran the football that they were essentially just going to tick the clock down, but they will take a timeout with 28.4 seconds left, but it's 3rd down and 10 with the ball at their own 45.
I thought the same thing you did. I thought as they ran it right up the middle there that maybe they were just going to be happy and go in at half, but he must have saw something in the defense that he thought they might be able to get a quick hit run in there.
You know, the key here is your experience as an offensive coordinator. I mean, if you can find a seam and get a quick 15-yard burst maybe up the middle, you at least can get into range where you can throw the Hail Mary to the end zone and give your receivers and guys like Deshaun Bussell a chance maybe to go make a play. But from your own 45, there's no high school quarterback that can get it that far. And maybe that was the thought, was with the defenders backing up so far, maybe you could just get one seam and break a run to get you close enough to throw the Hail Mary. Now at 3rd down and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Final seconds of the first half. Knights are down 18-7. 3rd down, 10. Concordia will show the blitz. Here they come, and they'll take down Kanapke back at the 39. A loss of 6, and the clock will run down to 18 seconds. And Concordia, are they going to take a timeout? I think they've got one left. And I don't see them taking the timeout.
They seem content.
And the clock will wind down, and we'll go to the locker room. Well, they would have had Bishop Luers in a punting situation and could have maybe gotten a return. And when you've got guys like Peterson Kurlegrand back there to return kicks, I think I'd always force the other team to at least punt it away. But instead, the teams go to the locker room. It's 18-7, Concordia in front. And remember, the deferred coin toss means Concordia starts with the football to start the second half, and maybe in some way that was in the back of Coach Tim Manigal's mind. Cadets trying to beat the Knights for the second time this year have the 18-7 lead at the break. We'll take a timeout, and when we come back here at Luers Field, we'll run down all of our first half scoring. And then remember, on the way here at the half, we'll hear from Peter Morrison, and also get your halftime scores of area sectional championship games. It's all coming up. This is the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Send it back to the field. Presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
With Corey Kitchen, I am Brett Rump at Luers Field. It's halftime, and the Concordia Cadets are in front of Bishop Luers, 18-7. Still coming up here at halftime, we've got the McDonald's halftime scoreboard with DC Hendricks back in the studio. But right now, to give you a rundown of the scoring of this one, I turn it over to my partner tonight, Corey Kitchen.
Well, Brett, both teams came out somewhat slow in the first quarter, body blows being given until the 2:51 mark of the first quarter when Concordia got on the board first. Peter Morrison to Mark Mallers, 20-yard pass. Extra point, though, no good, and 6-0 lead for Concordia. Then we moved into the second quarter. At the 9:56 mark, Luers takes the lead on a 23-yard pass from Norman Kanapke to Camden Childers. Extra point was good, and as I mentioned, they take the lead 7-6 over Luers. Moving on into the second quarter, at the 7:03 mark, an outstanding 15-yard run by Peterson Curley-Grand, breaking 4 or 5 tackles for a touchdown. They go for 2. They do not get it. It's 12-7 Concordia at that point.
And that 15-yard run by Curley-Grand followed a turnover on a shotgun snap, and so Concordia got points out of the Bishop Luers mistake, a one-play drive and a great run by Curley-Grand.
Great point. And then to finish up the scoring at the 4:32 mark of the second quarter, another Peter Morrison pass to Mark Mallers from the 16-yard line on a corner route to take the lead. Again, they go for 2 and do not get it, and we end the half at 18-7 Concordia.
And so we're going to be hearing from Peter Morrison, the outstanding senior quarterback for the Concordia Cadets, an interview that he did with AWP's Michael Lido earlier this season. And then also the McDonald's halftime scoreboard. DC Hendricks has the full rundown of area scores of tonight's sectional games. It's all coming up on your halftime report, where our halftime score here at Luers Field is the Concordia Cadets leading it 18-7 over the Bishop Luers Knights. This is the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Second quarter score, Class 2A. South Adams 15, Sherbrooke 7. Class 5A score, halftime, Snyder 28, Goshen 16.
Welcome back out to Luers Field. Brett Rump with Corey Kitchen. Halftime, and the Concordia Cadets lead it over the Bishop Luers Knights 18-7. Really the turning point of the game, perhaps a shotgun snap with Luers possession inside their own 20-yard line. It was recovered by Concordia at the 15, and it took them one play to have Peterson Curligran go 15 yards for a touchdown. And of course, You end up with a 18-7 score, a game that could have been 12-7 at the point with Luers in possession of the football, but that kind of turns things when you make those mistakes deep in your own end, Corey. That's a lot of times what high school football's about.
No question about it, Brett. And they've had a few drop passes. They've had some self-inflicted wounds along the way tonight that have led to the deficit. Otherwise, I think that they've played them pretty well.
Concordia beat the Bishop Luers Knights 34-16 back in mid-September. So this the rematch, and of course Bishop Luers comes into this with a couple of pretty nice wins along the tourney trail. Concordia, though, has also been impressive. In fact, I think Concordia might be the most impressive team since about the Luers win in week 4. I think they might have been the most dominant and most impressive team in the SAC down the stretch.
I would agree with that. They're 8 or 9 straight wins, and typically any time a 3A school runs through an SAC schedule with 1 or 2 losses, you know that they're going to have some success in the tournament.
So it will be Bishop Luers to kick off to start our second half. Peyton Howe is a junior kicker. He'll tee it up at his own 40-yard line, and Peterson Kurlegrand will be the lone cadet deep just inside his own 10. Here's the kick. We're underway in the second half. It's a high kick. They'll give it to Kurlegrand. He'll make the catch on the run at the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Up the middle of the field. Kurlegrand with momentum will drag tacklers to midfield. The 49-yard line for Kurlegrand. A big return, and Corey, we talked about it before the game, whether either team was going to give the other team's return specialist a chance. Luers was brave. They kicked it down to Kurlegrand, and he almost made him pay.
We get frustrated announcing games when no one kicks to the opponent, but that's a definite reason as to why right there.
From their own 49, Concordia starts with an 18-7 lead. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. The back is Kurlegrand. Man in motion, Mallers from the slot left over to the right, and then they'll give it up the middle to Kurlegrand. He's met as he crosses the 50 into Luers territory and goes down at the 48 after picking up 3 yards. It's 2nd down and 7.
Little misdirection off of the jet sweep fake and give it to Kurlegrand up the middle. My guess is that that's probably a point of emphasis for Concordia coming out of halftime. They want to get the running game going and try to work that clock.
Just underway in the third quarter. Cadets leading at 18-7, trying to add points here on the first possession of the second half. 2nd down and 7 from the Knights' 48-yard line. Same formation. Mallers again in motion. Cross formation, and they'll throw to Mallers out in the right flat, a little out route, and it's too far in front of him, incomplete. Brings up 3rd down and 7, and I know sometimes we can hype these situations, but I think this is a real key play for Bishop Luers. If they can come out here and get a stop on this 3rd down, get the ball, and try to make it a 1-score game, it would be huge, I think, in setting the tone for the second half.
Yeah, I agree with that. This is a big play in that regard. You're right. That 3 and out right out of halftime could be huge for their momentum.
Especially after allowing the long return and getting Concordia field position at their own 49. Here's the 3rd down and 7 from the Knights' 48-yard line. Drop in the pocket. Morrison looks to throw. Throws deep, and it's too far in front of Grahovac, who was flying toward that right sideline, and the incomplete pass will bring up 4th down, and you'd have to assume that Concordia is going to punt, but like they did in the first half, I think they'll line up in a regular offensive set, and then Morrison, who also doubles as the punter from the shotgun, will either kick it or they'll go for it. But let's see what they do here as they line it up on the 4th down and 7 from the Knights' 48, and Bussell will play center field. Not sure what to do about the kick here, but Morrison is in the gun. He's 5 yards deep instead of 4, and that allows him to kick it. And he'll kick it to the far sideline and out of bounds inside the 20-yard line, so the Knights get possession. They'll put it actually right at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for Bishop Luers.
Such a weapon to be able to kick that ball like that out of the shotgun set with your quarterback, because you get all the roll, you don't get a return, and they pin them deep to start here, but that's exactly what Luers wanted. They wanted the ball back after a 3 and out.
So the Knights trailing at 18-7 to Concordia. They have the football. Knights in their white pants, black jerseys, white numbers, red trim, black helmets. And at quarterback, it's Norman Kanapke, who took over for the injured Arian Nieves back in the first quarter. Here's a sweep. Charlton coming near side. The play stretched out, and Peterson Kurlegrand, not only a good ball carrier, but an excellent defender, made a nice open field tackle, taking the feet out from Charlton before he could turn the edge at about the 23-yard line. 2nd down 7 for Bishop Luers.
You mentioned they stretched that out, Brett, and it was a stretch play, a run play to the outside, and just nothing there for Luers.
It's Jordan Brooks going wide left, Deshaun Bussell wide right. They add a tight end to the formation. They've got one each side, and a drop and a throw over the middle, and it's intercepted. Mallers comes over, and the ball overthrown at the 43, and Mallers the pick. His 2nd interception for the Cadets, and Concordia takes over at the Knights' 43-yard line.
Mallers is all over the field, Brett. I mean, playing center field as free safety, and that was a tremendous pick on a ball that was just a little overthrown. And he's starting to cramp up a little bit because I think he never comes off the field.
Yeah, he got a great read from the quarterback, Norman Kanapke, and jumped that route. And when the ball was overthrown, it was Mallers that had the chance to make the sliding catch. So 1st and 10 Cadets at the 42 of Bishop Luers. Near sideline or near hash mark, it's Morrison in the gun. They'll run this option right, and then Morrison up the middle will come back and keep it, but he won't find a hole. He goes down right at the line of scrimmage, no gain. Interesting look to the play. I don't know if that was the way it was drawn up or if it was Morrison freelancing. It was started as an option play to the right, and then Morrison decided to cut it back against the grain and run it up the middle, but there was no place to go. 2nd down and 10.
I'm pretty confident that was a straight freelance on his part. He just didn't see anything out to the wide side of the field and thought maybe cutting it back would find him something, but no luck.
And there they go with the quads to the right. They've got 4 receivers, wide side right, single receiver left, empty backfield, screen, Kurlegrand, and he can't even make the catch. It's incomplete. Luers all over that. They jumped Kurlegrand on that screen, and that was a play that Concordia used effectively in the first half, but I think Bishop Luers smelled that one coming and was all over it. It's 3rd down and 10.
The minute they saw 4 wide receivers on one side, Contrez Jordan for the Knights sniffed out that screen and stuck Kurlegrand for an incompletion.
Yeah, Kurlegrand obviously heard footsteps coming because the Knights were all over it. Pretty well thrown football, but I think Kurlegrand just couldn't quite concentrate on it with pressure coming. He knew he was going to be taking a big hit. 3 receivers right, 1 receiver left. Single back, Kurlegrand. Long count from the left hash and a drop in the pocket, Morrison, and there's a flag and whistles, and I think he didn't get the snap off. Took a long time to get the play snapped, and it's a delay of game called against the Concordia Cadets.
Well, one of the things that you mentioned earlier in the game was both quarterbacks run all the way to their sideline, to their head coach to get the play, run all the way back to the huddle, give it to the rest of the team, and then take their team up to the ball. So that takes a while.
Especially with the wide hash marks in high school, and when you're on the left hash and your bench is on the other side of the field, it's a long run. So they'll try 3rd down again. 3rd and 16, drop. Morrison lobbing it near sideline, and it's caught on the run inside the 20, taken down at the 12. What a catch by Kamari Anderson-Drew, and Morrison just floated it out there, let Anderson-Drew run to it, and he caught it right in the edge of his fingertips.
Straight fade route on the outside, and Anderson-Drew was able to get off of that initial line of scrimmage jam from the defender, made it down the sidelines, and you hit it on the head. It was just a perfectly thrown ball by Morrison.
They spotted at the 11-yard line. It's 1st and 10 Cadets. Late substitution for the Luers defense. You've got 2 receivers wide each side. From the slot right, Mallers comes into the formation, then turns around and heads back right. They'll give it to Kurlegrand up the middle, trying to pick a hole. He's inside the 10, taken down near the 8-yard line. 3-yard gain for Kurlegrand right up the gut. 2nd down and 7.
They ran that trap play, and one of the things I think that you've probably noticed, Brett, is how much motion they're using with Mallers, and I think part of that is to get him off of that man-to-man jam at the line of scrimmage from the defense.
8:25 and the clock is running in our third quarter. 18-7. Concordia with the lead and in the red zone trying to add to it. Cadets break the huddle with Peter Morrison at the left hash. Curl Legrand, the running back. Mallers in the slot right. They've got two receivers bunched near side left. Play action, roll right. Morrison, he will throw far pylon, and it's out of the reach of Morrison, or out of the reach of Mallers, incomplete. And it brings up 3rd down and 7. Lures had pressure coming on Morrison. It might have forced him to throw it just a tad earlier than he wanted to, and it was outside the reach of Mallers, who was running that out route, a play that they connected on for a touchdown in the first half. So now a big 3rd down play. Now here's a situation where if they can hold him to perhaps a field goal try, they would stay within 2 scores. You give up a touchdown, it starts to become a 3-score game. .8:05 on the clock. We're in the third quarter. Concordia has the ball. 3rd down, 7 from the 8-yard line. Drop in the pocket. Looking. Here comes pressure. Morrison tried to duck under Underwood, but then lost his balance and went down at the 11-yard line. And Trey Underwood just so dominant up front. The 6'2", 255-pound lineman for the Knights. The senior came in and made a play.
He has played his tail off tonight. He seems to be involved in every play that Concordia runs, and just doing a great job in there.
What's amazing is I think he gets credit for a sack, and I'm not sure he ever touched him. Morrison just had to duck under the oncoming Underwood and went down. So on 4th down, the Cadets are going to go for it. They're trying to extend this to a 3-score lead. It's 4th down and 10 from the 11. Left hash, Morrison, play action, rolls to the right, he looks to throw, fires into the end zone, it's up and it is caught, touchdown, Mallers, what a throw, pretty tight coverage over there on the far side of the end zone, and Mallers his 3rd touchdown catch, and the Cadets open up the lead to 24-7.
Fantastic play. Mallers ran that corner route. It looks like it's a route that Morrison and Mallers have been probably running since they were in 7th or 8th grade together. Just the timing of it was perfect, and once again, a big scoring play for him.
7:13 left here in the third. Concordia 24, Lure 7, and the Cadets will try to add 1 point. Mallers the hold. Morrison will kick it. There's the snap, the set, and the kick. A high pop-up, and it misses wide to the right. So for the 4th time tonight, Concordia comes up empty, twice on 1-point tries, twice on 2-point tries, and the lead remains 24-7, 7:13 remaining in the third. That was a scoring drive presented by Best Deal Auto Sales. If you want to score on your next drive, get a car, truck, or SUV from any of the 5 Best Deal Auto Sales locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales. This is the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
This broadcast is brought to you by Partners First Credit Union. See them for mortgages, home equity loans, great rates on auto loans, and multiple options for your checking and savings accounts. At Partners First, they'll call you by name because you're not just a customer, you're a member. Visit partnersfirstcu.org for more information or stop in any of the local Partners First branch offices. Partners First Federal Credit Union, supporting the community as the presenting sponsor of high school football on ESPN 1380.
Welcome to Friday Night Football, presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Concordia turns a Bishop Luers turnover into points and extends their lead to 24-7. 7:13 remains, third quarter with Corey Kitchen. I am Brett Rump. Your high school football game of the week presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union. Here's the kick, and they will kick it to Bussell. And Bussell at the middle of the field goes far sideline. He's at the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and into Concordia territory. finally run out inside the Cadets 45. Well, both teams have been brave enough to kick it deep to the other team's return men, and so far just here in the second half, we saw why that is not necessarily a great idea.
Oh, yeah, pretty amazing that it seems as if every time Curly Grand or Deshaun Bussell get their hands on the football in the kicking game, it spells doom for the opponent.
44-yard line is where the Bishop Luers Knights start. They're already on Concordia's side of the field. The ball's in the left hash. And checking some of the players in the game for Bishop Luers, it looks like you've got a new back in the backfield as well. Gareth Brower, a senior, will be in the backfield with the sophomore quarterback, Norman Kanapke. And we've got a delay. Looking over on the Concordia sideline, finally things have been corrected, whatever needed to be done, and here comes Luers from the Cadet 44. And they'll go jet sweep. Here comes Hambright coming across formation. Concordia stretches it, and it's Curligran who missed the tackle, but there's plenty of cadets there to pick him up. And it'll be about a 2-yard gain, no, about a 1-yard gain on that jet sweep to Tyrion Hambright, the junior running back for the Bishop Luers Knights.
Curligran did a great job of stretching that play out to the sidelines and gave the rest of his defensive teammates enough time to pursue and make the tackle.
Second down and 9 with the ball just inside the Concordia 43. Knights find themselves down 24-7. It's 18 straight that have been scored by the Cadets after the Knights had taken a 7-6 first quarter lead. Ball is on the right hash, shotgun snap, drop, looking to throw the whole way, firing far sideline, and incomplete. Trying to get it to Jordan Brooks, the wideout. Would have been just short of the first down at the Cadets 35, but the incomplete pass now brings up a 3rd down and 9 from the Concordia 43 for Bishop Luers.
That's a pass play that I would assume that Mr. Kanapke will probably only get better at. He's throwing an out route to the wide side of the field. It's a really long throw, and I think as he grows and develops and becomes a junior and a senior, I think he'll be able to make that play with a little bit more effectiveness.
Trip receivers wide left, single receiver wide to the right, a drop, and they're trying to set up the screen. They float it near side where Brower makes the catch. 40, 45, or 35, 30, and he takes it down the sideline, finally knocked out of bounds for a first down near the 21-yard line. Well, it didn't look like much when it started, but the key is he had 2 blockers in front of him, and they both got nice blocks to give him space right down the sideline, and that's a first down for the Knights nearing the red zone.
We touched on it in the first half. They are such a great screen team, and another good one there.
And Gareth Brower, a senior, in the backfield for the first time here tonight. A 5'9", 170-pounder. Ball is on the right hash, and you see the old-fashioned I formation. A fullback in front of Charlton who gets the handoff on the run, takes it through the hole. Off tackle on the left side, and he'll get inside the 15, close to the 14-yard line. That's a good 7-yard burst for Jalen Charlton. 2nd down and 3 for the Knights as they try to close the gap. It's 24-7, Concordia leading, approaching 5 minutes left here in the 3rd. Ball's near the middle of the field. The quarterback is the sophomore, Norman Kanapke. He'll get under center. Again, the I formation behind him with a double tight end set. And they'll give Charlton, this time on a misdirection. He brings it right. Stretches the play to the 10, the 5, and he wins the sprint to the pylon. Touchdown, Bishop Luers.
Great play. They ran a counter tray, in fact, where they pulled both the tackle and the guard and led Charlton around the right side, and there just was no one there defensively.
Charlton has been limping here through some of this 3rd quarter, and he continues to limp, but he makes his way to the sideline and showed no limp on that sprint to the pylon. The touchdown run makes it 24-13, 4:56 left in the 3rd, and they'll try to add an extra point. The kick is up and drilled by Peyton Howell through the uprights. and it's 24-14. That could shift momentum here in the third. 4:56 left. And it's a scoring drive presented by Best Deal Auto Sales. If you want to score on your next drive, get a car, truck, or SUV from any of the 5 Best Deal Auto Sales locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales. This is the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
And 100.9 FM.
Been an interesting third quarter. We talked before the game about whether the teams would kick it deep to dangerous return men. You just saw Concordia really pay for the decision to kick at the bustle. A big return set up Luers with a short field from the 44 of Concordia, and they went 44 yards to score and make it a 10-point game. 24-14 here at Luers Field, and now the Knights to kick off, and they'll kick deep. Kurlegram at the 30, and he'll be taken down at the 35-yard line. Justin Gaston in on the play for the Bishop Luers Knights. So Concordia with a 24-14 advantage, and you keep wondering that lack of extra points. It could come back to really haunt the Cadets here.
Yep, missed all 4 opportunities, 2 kick attempts and 2 two-point attempts, and I thought they were chasing points a little early there with the 2-point attempts, but if you can't make the 1 point, you might as well go for 2.
First and 10 here for the Cadets at their own 35-yard line. The ball's in the near side hash. They'll put 4 wide, 2 each side, and they'll bunch together here on the short side of the field. Shotgun, Morrison hands to the running back Kurlegram, and Kurlegram again will take it for about 3 to 4 yards right up the middle to the 39-yard line. And essentially the play calling very similar almost each drive. They'll start with giving it to Kurlegram up the middle, and he'll gain 3 or 4, and then they go from there.
Yeah, I think they're trying to run some clock here, particularly in the second half, and would love to run the ball with some consistency here to work that clock.
4:20 and the clock runs here late third. 24-14 Cadets lead. Second down and 6 from their own 39-yard line. Drop in the pocket. Morrison will throw. Crossing route. Caught out at the 43 and immediately wrapped up and brought down. Passes completed
Tyson Chambers.
To Tyson Chambers, who's a junior wideout. Crossing, but that's a mistake a lot of times, I think, for high school receivers. If you're going to run that crossing route, you really want to be closer to the first down stick. He comes up a yard short at the 44, so it is 3rd down and 1. 3 receivers near side, 1 wide right, single back Kurlegram behind Morrison from the right hash. Big 3rd down from their own 44-yard line. Speed option. Goes to the right, and Morrison will keep it, get first down yardage out to the 47. He needed 1, he got 3, and it's a first down. Moves the sticks for the Concordia Cadets.
Morrison kept it on the speed option, and I can't help but notice that right before that play began, Trey Underwood ran off the field for the Knights, and he's been plugging up the middle all night for them.
So it's 1st and 10 for Concordia. They're on their own 47-yard line, placed at the right hash with 3:15 and the clock running here in the third quarter. Cadets lead at 24-14. A slot each side with 4 wide. Drop. Morrison looks to throw. Pump fakes. Now throws it deep down the sideline, and his receiver broke off the route. That was Grahovac on that far sideline, and the ball sails incomplete downfield. So it's 2nd down and 10.
Just went with a little fade route down the sideline to Grahovac. They haven't really had an opportunity to get him really in the flow of the game tonight. It's been really all Mallers.
So 2nd down and 10. Cadets from their own 47. They break the huddle. So many teams now using a huddleless offense. Concordia still in the huddle. They break it, line up with 3 receivers left, 1 right, and they'll run again. The speed option to the right, and a cut up by Morrison. He's got the first down in the seam. 30, 25, a cutback at the 20, and he's wrapped up by the last man back. Morrison will go down after picking up 33 yards.
Speed option that he kept again, and it appears to me Luers is doing a great job of taking Curligrand out of that play, but they have yet to stop Morrison on it.
Give him almost 36 on that carry. They'll put the football inside the 20 between the 17 and 18-yard line. So we'll call it the 17, 1st and 10 for the Cadets. They're in the red zone trying to add to a 24-14 lead. Last 2.5 minutes here of the third quarter. Ball's on the right hash. Morrison in a gun, 5 yards behind center. Curligrand, the lone back. Long count. Watch Mallers. He's in the slot right. Dropping back Morrison. He's looking left. Here comes pressure. Now he tucks it to run and then throws late far sideline. A little comeback, and it's caught somewhere near the 10.
Great job of escaping the rush, moving out of the pocket, extending the play. And allowing a receiver to come back to him for a nice 8-yard completion.
And that is Colton Grahovac with the catch, the junior wideout, helping out his quarterback. So it's 2nd down, 2 to go from around the 9. Last minute 45. The clock is running here in the third quarter. Concordia up 24-14, looking to add more. They'll give it to Curligrand, and he's immediately met and brought down, and there's Underwood breaking into the Concordia backfield. It'll be a loss outside the 10, near the 11. I think it's a loss of a couple. So now it brings up 3rd down and 3 for the Concordia Cadets.
Who else but Trey Underwood in the middle of that defensive line? He's had himself a night, Brett.
Ball sitting just outside the 10, so it's 3rd down, a short 3. They need close to the 7. Last minute of the 3rd. Under center, Morrison, something you rarely see. Knight showing a blitz up front. They're coming up the middle, and the handoff to Curligrand. He tucks the shoulders, he gets inside the 10, but I don't think he's got first down yardage. He'll be close to the 9. And it will be about a yard short, I think. Well, they're putting it at the 8, and it is close.
Dominic Easley from his linebacker position, number 24 for the Luers Knights, came in there with the initial stop, and he had a couple of teammates on the tackle with him as well.
And they'll bring the sticks out to measure. It's either going to be a first down and goal or 4th and short. I think it's 4th and short, but he got a very good spot by this officiating crew, and they have to bend over to look at it. And it's short by about 4 to 6 inches. So it will be a 4th down. Seems like a really good spot where they put that inside the 8-yard line. 46.6 seconds, 24-14. Bishop Dwenger tightening things up against the New Haven Bulldogs, 21-16 the score. New Haven still the lead, but the Saints trying to keep their hopes alive to make a return trip down to Lucas Oil Stadium, the defending Class 4A state champions. From the 8-yard line, it is 4th down and short. Under center will be Morrison. 24-14, Concordia leads, looking to add, and Morrison will run the play clock down. It's at 14. He gets under center, and he'll give to Curligrand. He's got a seam. He's inside the 5, diving and into the end zone. Touchdown, Curligrand. What a good job of opening the initial hole right at the line of scrimmage, and there was no second level. Curligrand goes in from 8 yards out. Touchdown, Cadets. That's a huge play for Concordia, not only to convert on the 4th down, but then to take it for points.
You see that happen so often, that the defense is so keyed up to make that initial stop on 4th and 1 that if you bust through that first level, there's nobody else there.
Can Concordia get an extra point tonight? They're going to try to kick this one, the set and the kick, and that one looks like it might be good. It is. Concordia finally adds of extra point onto a touchdown. 31-14, Concordia. 29.3 seconds left here in the third quarter. And this is the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
For 17 years, Northeast Indiana finds the best deals on quality previously owned vehicles at Best Deal Auto Sales. Reliable vehicles offered at or below wholesale prices. The selection is great and the deals are even better at any of the Best Deal Auto Sales 5 Northeast Indiana locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales. Best Deal Auto Sales. BestDealAutoSalesOnline.com.
Now back to high school football, presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Back at Lewis Field, where the Knights trail the Concordia Cadets 31-14. They'll take this kickoff from Concordia. And in Goshen, you've got Snyder, who fell behind early, 9-7. To the Goshen Redhawks, but apparently that woke up the Snyder Panthers. They now lead at 56-16, still in the third quarter up at Goshen. The kickoff will go out of bounds. That will set it out to the 35-yard line, or Coach Kyle Lindsay can march him back and have him re-kick. It's his decision. Let's see what's going to end up happening here.
Appears he's going to have him re-kick, and I can't blame him for that decision. You know, the 30, they've had better field position than the 35 most of the night.
So they will march it 5 yards and re-kick it, but Snyder was playing ugly football, not very inspired. A tough early going for the Panthers, but, you know, talent sometimes just comes through when you finally wake them up. And, Corey, we saw it when Snyder played Dwenger, that they didn't play very inspired football in that first half against Bishop Dwenger, but once the game got on the line, the Panthers came to life and ended up coming back from 19 down to defeat Bishop Dwenger. Doing it tonight, it's a big lead right now for Snyder. Still in the third quarter, 56-16. So Concordia will re-kick it. This time it's teed up at the 35, and here is the boot. And they'll kick it deep again, giving Bussell an opportunity. From the 18-yard line, across the 30, the 35. He's on the far sideline, across the 40, and out close to the 45-yard line, but a flag back at the 32. And the flag laying right along the path that Bussell took it. And, of course, it's going to be another holding penalty. So it'll march the Knights back somewhere near their own 22-yard line to start 1st and 10.
Coach Lindsay's probably wishing he had it at the 35 now, Brett.
Yeah. So the Knights with possession, 21 seconds left here in the third quarter. 31-14, Concordia, the lead. Coming out to quarterback, the Bishop Luers Knights, sophomore quarterback Norman Kanapke, who played a little earlier this year when Arian Nieves was out with an injury earlier this season. Now Nieves with a shoulder injury in our first quarter. He has not played since. Drop back Kanapke. Again, they'll throw the screen. That's a big play from the last possession, and Brower cuts it up at the hash marks this time out to the 33-yard line, where he's going to be very close to a first down. In fact, I think that will be a first down. They'll put the ball at the 34. And there's the official signal. It is a first down, an 11-yard gain. And now the clock will wind down under 10 seconds. As it ticks away, that will end our third quarter. The Concordia Cadets trying to knock off Bishop Luers for the second time this season. They lead at 31-14 as we head to the fourth. It's your Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Third quarter score, Class 5A, Snyder 56, Goshen 16.
Welcome to Friday Night Football, presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Quarter number 4 starts here at Lewis Field with the Knights in possession of the football at their own 34-yard line, trailing 31-14. And backup quarterback, sophomore Norman Kanapke starts with a screen to the left, but he threw it very quick and out of the reach of Hambright. Incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
They've gotten a lot of positive yardage and momentum with their screen game tonight. I think they were trying one more to the outside there and just couldn't connect.
There is some finesse required in that screen to time it properly, and it seemed like Kanapke just a little anxious to get that ball out to Hambright before he really got turned around. And so 2nd down and 10 for the Knights. They're at their own 34. They'll put 4 wide, 2 each side. Drop in the pocket. Kanapke looking to throw. He's got time. Pump fakes and then rolls to the left. Rolling, and as the pressure comes, he unloads it, and it's almost picked off near sideline, but out of bounds. Coming over, making the diving attempt and catching it was Keone Griggs, but he couldn't keep his feet in bounds, so it'll now bring up 3rd down and 10 for the Knights. And then you have to start wondering how far do you go before it becomes 4-down territory. Here you're still in your own end at the 34-yard line. You'd have to think here that this would most likely be a punting situation with a 17-point game, but the way they move the football, when do you start taking chances if you're Kyle Lindsey and the Bishop Brewers Knights?
Probably pretty soon.
3rd down 10 from their own 34. Drop in the pocket. Kanapke looks to throw and does. Airs it out, far sideline, man-to-man. Bussell pushed off. They didn't throw the flag, but it's an incomplete pass. Good coverage. The defender actually established position, almost better than Bussell, and then you've got a defender now limping badly for Concordia. Trying to catch the number on the far sideline.
I think it's Preston Curlegrand, 31.
We've seen Preston Curlegrand go down hurt earlier this year when we had the Cadets against the Snyder Panthers, and he limps noticeably off to the Concordia sideline. So good coverage, though. Preston Curlegrand actually had gotten better position on that route than Bussell did. It almost forced Bussell to commit offensive pass interference. He had to kind of push him out of the way to try to make the catch. It was incomplete, and so now on 4th down, the Knights trying to decide what to do. They're going to have to take a timeout with 11:43 remaining. 31-14 the score. Cadets leading it over the Bishop Brewers Knights, and this is the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
This broadcast is brought to you by Partners First Credit Union. See them for mortgages, home equity loans, great rates on auto loans, and multiple options for your checking and savings accounts. At Partners First, they'll call you by name because you're not just a customer, you're a member. Visit partnersfirstcu.org for more information or stop in any of the local Partners First branch offices. Partners First Federal Credit Union, supporting the community as the presenting sponsor of high school football on ESPN 1380.
It's high school football presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Back at Lewis Field, it's 4th down and 10. Knights from their own 34, and they're going for it. They put 5 wide and empty the backfield on 4th and 10. Drop in the pocket. Kanapke's looking to throw. He's got time, and he's throwing it deep far sideline. Ball up for grabs, and going up, making the catch is Childers. But there was some contact before he caught it. The flag comes down, and now let's see. They're going to call pass interference against the Cadets.
Huge play on 4th and 10, and to connect on about a 25-yard pass play. Again, that Kanapke to Childers could be a connection for the future.
About 27 yards on that connection. Kanapke to Childers have connected like 3 times fairly deep down the field, one of them for a touchdown for the Bishop Brewers Knights. From the 39-yard line of Concordia, the Knights have a first down. We've got 11 minutes, 30 seconds left. The clock runs in our fourth quarter. Trip receivers to the wide side left, single receiver right, rolling to the left. Kanapke looking, pressure coming. He fires, and it is picked off again by Mallers. Interception number 3 for Mallers, and Concordia will get the football at about the 43-yard line.
You could make a real argument for defensive pass interference on that. He climbed up his back, and it appeared to me was a little bit early in getting there, but no call, and another great interception on his part.
Kind of went over and through the intended receiver to make the pick, and of course Bishop Luers coaches near sideline all asking, and now we've got everybody going to a knee. And let's see, is there an injured player near sideline? There is an injury. There's an injured player near sideline, Bishop Luers sideline, being looked at by trainers, and we can't see who it is because they're right at the sideline. We think it's Justin Gaston, and it is Gaston. He'll get up and slowly hobble to join his teammates, but he is on his own power.
I think we've seen a lot of cramping tonight, Brett, from both teams. Maybe the warmer weather, although it's cooler tonight, but appears to be a lot of cramping.
So the Cadets with the football again. Another Bishop Luers turnover. The third ball intercepted tonight by Mark Mallers. And he's got a couple of touchdown receptions. I mean, what a night for Mallers. Career night here for the Concordia senior receiver / safety. Mallers will go in motion from the right slot over to the left side, and the give goes to Curligran. He immediately bounces out to the right and turns the edge across midfield, and then chased out of bounds by Carter Gilly as he gets to the Knights' 48-yard line. That'll be close to a first down. We'll call it a 9-yard gain, about a yard shy of the stick. 2nd down and 1. Ball's on the near hash. Clock runs fourth quarter at 11:07. Actually, they stop it after Curligran went out of bounds. Concordia leading at 31-14 over the Bishop Luers Knights here at Luers Field. The winner will be declared the Class 3A sectional champion. Move on to regional action next week. Sweep to the left for Curligran, and as he gets to the far sideline, he gets enough for a first down. Marked out of bounds at the Knights' 45. After picking up almost 3 yards, it will be a first down for the Cadets. And now there's 11:01 left. Concordia 31, Bishop Luers 14. Well, they stopped the clock, and that's one of the mistakes there on that run. You want to try to stay in bounds as much as you can. Ball's on the left hash, shotgun for Morrison, single back Curligran, and Morrison will look to throw. He's going deep on the sideline and just overthrows Kamari Anderson-Drew, who ran the fly pattern and actually did run right past the defender in man-to-man coverage. He was matched up with Chance Richard, the corner on that side, and the ball just thrown too far downfield.
Interesting play call there. They've been trying to grind the clock with the running game, and on the first down, they took a shot.
Interesting score. Of course, we know Snyder winning big over Goshen. And you talked about a Mishawaka team that presents problems, especially for defenses with that special offense they run. But they're trailing Michigan City at the half, 8-7. Here's a sweep and a pitch, and Curligran breaks away from a tackle. The 40, 35, 30. Last man back is Barry, and Barry just might have got a face mask. The flag comes in as Curligran will get knocked out of bounds somewhere near the 16-yard line. There's a flag at the 20.
They have covered that speed option to the running back so well all night long, and they finally let Curligran loose on it. And Morrison pitches it to him, and although it looks like it's coming back.
Yeah, it's coming back this way. It'll be called against the Cadets. So with 10:45 left, 31-14, that big run for Curligran, and they'll bring it back, march it back. Well, they'll march it back to the 29. Concordia is still a first down. It's New Haven leading Bishop Dwenger with 3:51 left, 28-16. Concordia, 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line. Ball set on the right hash. Concordia in Lewis territory, trying to add to a 31-14 lead with 10:45 left. Morrison fakes the handoff and a read option, and then takes it to the right, going wide near sideline. Takes it inside the 20 and then slides. And again, I think he slid out of bounds. Did they stop the clock? Did he stay in bounds?
That's why he slid, Brett.
Yeah, he did stay in bounds.
Yep,
that's a smart play by Morrison.
Really smart play. And that's the first time all night that they've run the read option off of that inside trap run to Curligran. Morrison just kept it, ran around the outside, almost got to the sidelines, and then slid down inbounds.
And knew right where the first down mark was, too, because he slid at about the 17, and once he passed the 19, he had first down yardage. Ball still on the right hash. Morrison will go in the gun with Curligran, the back, straight behind him. Play action, Morrison throws. Near sideline, called by Mallers, immediately cuts it back toward the middle of the field and tucks inside the 10 to the 9.
Morrison complete to Mallers.
That'll be an 8-yard gain to the 9-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 2. And again, the clock runs. We're down to 9:45 remaining in the game. Concordia looking to add to a 31-14 lead over the Bishop Luers Knights.
Little play action pass there where they faked it up the middle to Curligran, and Morrison rolled to the right and caught Mallers on a crossing route.
Trip receivers go to the wide side left. You've got a single receiver, Colton Grahovac, lined up to the right. Morrison hands off to Curligran. He'll take tacklers inside the 5, then break away and get into the end zone. Touchdown. Individual effort by Peterson Curligran. He was wrapped up by a couple of Knights defenders, but again, Curligran not to be denied. Touchdown Concordia. They lead it 37-14 with 9:16 left.
Tremendous run, just a straight dive play, but I think he broke 3-4 tackles again and was just not going to be denied that touchdown.
Curligran, 5'10", 180 pounds. But when you see defenders attempt to tackle him, especially when he can see the end zone, he seems so much bigger. Here's the extra point, and 2 for 2 here in the last couple of touchdowns because it was just drilled through the uprights by Peter Morrison. 38-14, Concordia pulling away, and now the score looks very similar to what we saw the first time these two teams met when Concordia won it 34-16. Scoring drive presented by Best Deal Auto Sales. If you want to score on your next drive, get a car, truck, or SUV from any of the 5 Best Deal Auto Sales locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales. 9:16 on the clock here in the fourth quarter. It's 38-14. Concordia leading it over Luers. This is the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Students, thank you for your student support tonight. Time out of winter call for your ride home if you need one. Thank you.
Back to the field, presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Concordia adds to their lead, 38-14 over the Bishop Luers Knights. Now the kick picked up on the bounce by Hambright, near sideline, takes it up the middle of the field and finds a nice seam across the 35-40 all the way out to the 47. Boy, a big return, and I don't know if there's answers in the kicking game for high school football. I mean, if you kick it deep, you pay the price. If you kick it short, you pay the price. If you kick it out of bounds, you pay the price.
Both of these teams tonight have certainly struggled in their kickoff coverage. There is no doubt about that.
So at the 47, Bishop Luers starts. They trailed by 24 points with 9:08 remaining. 4 wide and a quick drop. They'll throw a screen. Hambright has it 2 yards deep, and then he gets a block across the 50, 45, knocked out of bounds near sideline inside the Concordia 40 at the 38-yard line. Boy, that's a big play of 15 yards and a first down for the Bishop Luers Knights. And you talk about the screen plays, there's another one.
Yeah, they do such a good job with that. I once asked Coach Lindsay how they become so good at screens, and he said, well, we practice them from June on.
So first and 10, the ball at the Concordia 37, actually. They give him all the way to the 37. Knights with trip receivers right, dropping the pocket for Kanapke, throwing near sideline, and a nice catch made at the 26-yard line, knocked out of bounds at about the 27. No forward progress because they'll stop the clock. And the completion went to, was that Gaston or was that Brooks? Jordan Brooks, number 2, near sideline, made the catch. And let's see where they put the ball because that will determine whether it's a first down or not. And Justin Shippey comes all the way over to the near sideline, takes a look at it, and says yes, it's a first down at the 27. So a 10-yard pickup moves the chains. First and 10, Knights drop back in the pocket. Here comes a blitz, and Kanapke just throws it at the feet that time of Hambright. They were trying to set up the screen, but the blitzer got into the backfield so fast that Kanapke just had to unload it.
Really savvy play by the sophomore quarterback, in my opinion. I did throw that at the feet, not risk the turnover, live to fight another down.
8 minutes, 50 seconds remaining here at Luers Field. Coming up after the game, join us at the Southgate Pizza Hut for the Indiana Physical Therapy postgame show. Darren Wright will be the official scoreboard operator. We'll run through all the scores of area games, talk to area coaches, and more. That's coming up right after the game at the Southgate Pizza Hut. So second down and 10 from the 27 of Concordia. The Knights trying to cut into this 24-point Concordia lead. Kanapke throws near sideline. Caught and immediately, no, it's dropped. Jordan Brooks looked like he had it in his hands. He tried to step out at about the 22, but it's incomplete. Saw a few drops tonight, too, by this Bishop Luers team, and that one stops the clock with 8:45 remaining. And now it is third down and 10 from the Concordia 27-yard line. Ball on the near side hash. Norman Kanapke, the sophomore, is in the gun. He's got a single back in the backfield, Gareth Brower, and a quick drop, throw near sideline, and miscommunication. The receiver was Brooks. He was running a post route, and clearly Kanapke expected him to run a little down and out. And so that incomplete pass stops the clock, brings up fourth down and 10 with 8:43 remaining. Saints trying to hang with New Haven. They've closed it to 28-23 with 2:40 left. Here comes a fourth down play from the 27-yard line. Kanapke will drop. He looks. He's going to go for it all. And again, the receiver came off the route, and the ball sails over everyone's head, incomplete. Turnover on downs. We'll give it to Concordia. With 8:39 remaining, it is Concordia 38, Bishop Luers 14. Here it looks like one of the bishops in town will have their season end, but the other bishop on the north side trying to extend their season, battling with the undefeated New Haven Bulldogs. As we just said, a 28-23 game with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left out in New Haven. So Concordia from their own 27, first and 10. And they will give it to the running back, Curligran. Met at the line of scrimmage, pushed backwards, no chance of anything there for Curligran. Knights expecting the run on first down. That has been the MO for Concordia here in the second half. And after Curligran goes for nothing, it's 2nd down and 10. Concordia with the football on their own 27. The clock continues to run, approaching 8 minutes left. A 38-14 Concordia lead.
I think Coach Manigal has started every second half drive with that same running play.
Cadets break the huddle, come up to the line of scrimmage. The play clock goes under 10. Of course, that's one thing, too, with Morrison, a smart quarterback. He's looking at that play clock, gets it under 5. He's not going to snap it until 2. Speed option to the right. Late pitch to Curligran. Down the sideline, Curligran crosses the 40 and gets flipped into the air at the 42-yard line. But that's a 15-yard gain. Perfect timing on that option pitch by Morrison to Curligran. It got Curligran free down the sideline, and after a 15-yard pickup, it is 1st and 10 Concordia.
Bishop Luers has made the adjustment finally to take the quarterback on the speed option, but now they're back to letting the running back wide open.
Well, it's called pick your poison.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a talented Concordia offense. So many weapons. They can run it. They can throw it. They got a very athletic, elusive quarterback. Number of good receivers. And they've even got one receiver that's on the shelf. And here's a nice run up the middle. Curligran breaks away from it. Tackled by the safety and then taken down by the last man back as he gets to the 40-yard line of Bishop Luers.
Luke Fisher on the tackle for the Knights, a senior defensive back. Came in there and caught Curligran from behind. Did a nice job.
Once they get the change set, they start the clock back up. It's going to go under 7 minutes. And again, Concordia taking plenty of time as the play clock goes under 15 seconds. They break the huddle, line up at the line of scrimmage. They stay in the gun with Morrison 4 yards behind center. And Curligran, with more brown in his uniform than white, is lined up 2 yards deep behind that, and they'll run the reverse. Flip it to Mallers. Mallers cuts it up at the hash marks. He's inside the 35 and spun down at the 30-yard line.
Anton Berry at defensive end for the Knights did a really nice job of turning that play in, but none of his teammates were there to make the tackle.
Somebody's got to fill that gap when the defensive end doesn't really go for the tackle, just goes for the position. Somebody has to be there. No one was. It goes for a 9.5-yard pickup at the 31.5-yard line. It's 2nd down and very short. Concordia leads at 38-14. The clock will go under 6 minutes before the ball is snapped. Play clock under 10. Concordia lines it up with trip receivers right, single receiver wide to the left, and a man in motion across formation right to left, and they'll give to Curligran. He's running it right, looks for a hole to cut up, and he is met before gaining the half yard he needs. In fact, he'll probably lose about a yard back at the 32 and a half, so it's going to be a 3rd down and almost 2 to go for Concordia.
Right now, I think it's more about the time off the clock than it is about the yardage, but they need a 1st down here to extend the drive.
Well, you burn about 2 minutes every time you move the sticks, and Concordia had a perfect opportunity to do that with 2.5 yard. Now they face 3rd and 2. Clock's down to 5:15 and running here in the 4th quarter with Concordia up by 24. 2 receivers wide each side from the middle of the field. A quick throw to the wideout. Caught, trying to get a block, and he's going to be spun in open space, but he was able to get away enough to go forward for a 1st down. They had him wrapped up, spun him around twice, and eventually Kamari Anderson-Drew got away and got a 1st down.
Tremendous effort on his part to spin out of that tackle and pick up the 1st down, and I think he even did it by staying in bounds.
And it would have been close, I think, even if he'd have been marked down on the spin tackle. But he made it a no-doubter and got inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. The clock will continue to run down to 4:40 left. Concordia lines it up 1st and 10 from the Bishop Luers 29-yard line. And Morrison will look to throw, and he's going deep. Home run ball, and he throws it over everyone's head as Kamari Anderson-Drew broke off the route. don't understand that in this situation. I think your best option is the read option right now. Either give it to Kurlegrand, or if the defense over pursues and cheats on that handoff, let Morrison run it the other direction. But boy, to try to throw the football, now the clock stops at 4:26, and like you said, time more precious than yardage.
Yeah, they've been pretty consistent in taking their shots down the field all night long, but that one is a little puzzling.
From the left hash, 2nd down and 10 from the 29, and it will be the give to Kurlegrand. He's met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain for Kurlegrand, maybe a half yard at best, so it's going to be 3rd down, almost 10 to go, but the clock will run. We'll go under 4 minutes. Concordia faithful on the far side that have made the trip across town here to Bishop Luers High School, starting to sense that they're moving on to a regional and claiming a sectional title. Concordia also will keep their winning streak alive. Haven't lost since their 3rd game of the season. Here's the option to the left. Morrison, late pitch, dangerous, but he got it to Kurlegrand. And Kurlegrand's free down the sideline. The 10, the 5, a cutback into the end zone. Touchdown, Kurlegrand, and a bow for the Concordia faithful.
There's your Johnny football play. I mean, Peter Morrison is just about ready to go down and be tackled, and he underhand pitches on the speed option to Kurlegrand, who takes it to the house. I mean, that's just creating a play.
Concordia extends to a 44-14 lead, 3:30 remaining, and now to try the extra point, it is Peter Morrison. And it's kind of ironic that he wears number 2 when we compare him to Johnny Football. And there's the extra point. It goes up and through. And count it, the 45th point on the board for Concordia. Well, another scoring drive presented by Best Deal Auto Sales. If you want to score on your next drive, get a car, truck, or SUV from any of the 5 Best Deal Auto Sales locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales. This is the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
Let's send it back to the field. Presented by Partners First Federal Credit Union on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.
All the scores, highlights, coaches, interviews coming your way after the game ends here at Luers Field. It's the Indiana Physical Therapy postgame show live from the Southgate Pizza Hut. Here, Concordia is up 45-14 with 3:30 left. There's a squib kick, takes a bounce to Anton Berry, who will take it on the hop as an up man for Bishop Luers. And finally, Concordia decided not worth kicking it deep to Deshaun Bussell or to Tyrion Hambright. And so they squib it, almost an onside kick, and Berry makes a clean catch at the 43-yard line. Luers starts, but the game pretty much over except for what the final number will be, as Concordia will win the sectional title and advance to next week's regional against what we expect to be West Lafayette, taking on a sub-500 Twin Lakes team tonight. There's the shotgun, and they'll run the crossbuck, and Charlton lost his footing as he tried to cut it upfield and goes down at the 43, which is not even getting back to the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain, so 2nd down and 10.
No gain, second down 10.
And the clock will continue to run because he stayed in bounds. It'll go under 3 minutes.
West Lafayette has been a nemesis for this sectional in this part of the state, but I think Concordia might have something for them this year, Brett.
And the good news is that game will be at Zollner Stadium next Friday night. Here comes pressure, and they dump off the screen. Charlton to catch at the line of scrimmage, looking for a block. He crosses the 45 and then gets pushed backwards after gaining only a couple of yards. A lot of contact over there as Concordia kind of gang tackled on Charlton. But the clock will continue to run, I believe. Yes, it goes under 2.5 minutes. Concordia in front, 45-14. Coming up after the game, a note to DC. We'll wrap things up here at the stadium, send it back to you, and of course we'll have a commercial break and then take it right into AWP's Michael Lido, who has a conversation with Concordia quarterback Peter Morrison. Then I'll be joined at the Southgate Pizza Hut by Darren Wright with tonight's sectional scores. Drop back, and they'll run a wide receiver screen. Catch made by Brooks near side. Broken tackle, and now Brooks down the sideline. The 40, and chased from behind. He gets taken down by Curlegrand. That's Preston Curlegrand as he got to the 35-yard line. Well, he broke one tackle and then looked like he might have had a chance to take it all the way, but Curlegrand with good hustle to catch up from behind and take down Brooks at the Concordia 35-yard line. 1:44, and the clock continues to run. And Lures taking their time as Norman Kanapke comes to the sideline to get the play and trots out to the huddle, and then Lures breaks the huddle down to 17 on the play clock. Charlton in the backfield. He's been kind of limping around, a little gimpy tonight, but he stays out there. Kanapke from the left hash drops, looking right, and he's going to wind up, fire it, and it's incomplete. Tried to get it all the way across the field to Deshaun Bussell and misfired. The incomplete pass stops the clock at 1:20 left. Second down and 10. Knights ball at the Concordia 35. Got a final score from Goshen as the Snyder Panthers have defeated the Goshen Redhawks 56-16. So Snyder advances to the Class 5A regional. They'll play the winner of Mishawaka and Michigan City next week. 1:20 on the clock. Here's a crossbuck play. They'll give it to Brower. Brower picking his hole up the middle inside the 25 to the Concordia 23. A nice 12 or 13 yards for Gareth Brower, playing his final high school football game. And of course, now you start looking at the seniors. This is a career that's coming to an end, and Brower among them. Charlton also a senior, and Jalen Charlton replaced. He'll come to the sideline with 1:06 left. The clock runs. And Bishop Lures about to fall to the Concordia Cadets here in the sectional championship. Ball's down to about the 22-yard line, and they'll give to the first back through, and that is Luke Fisher, also a senior, getting a chance to carry the football in his final game here at Lures Field. He had his helmet come off, so he comes to the near sideline. Charlton will return to the field. Bussell comes out.
Getting a report from New Haven that Dwenger's got the ball at the 20 going in with 33 seconds left, down 5. So
yeah, 5-point game, 28-23. Dwenger trying to stay alive in their hopes of repeating in Class 4A. New Haven not wanting to see an end to that undefeated season. What a classic finish going on out at New Haven High School. Here's a drop, they'll throw, going deep on the corner route, a battle on a jump ball, and it's caught, touchdown, Bishop Lures. Carter Gilly went up and got the jump ball, made the catch in the end zone, and the Knights make it 45-20 with 24.5 seconds left, and that's, really, to be honest, that's almost a throw for next year for Kanapke. That's one he'll remember from this one tonight, not the interceptions, not the turnovers. He can take that one into his junior season next year. A nice throw on that deep corner route, and Gilly went up and made a play.
Yeah, and it's a great way for Gilly to kind of end his high school career. He's a senior, nice catch in the end zone.
They'll stay out there and go for 2 here with 24.5 seconds left, a 45-20 score. Knights offense has Kanapke, the sophomore quarterback. He'll drop and throw a screen. Brower, the catch at the 5, puts down the shoulder pads and gets into the end zone. The 2-point conversion is good. Again, that screen pass that you talk about from Bishop Lures. And that time, Gareth Brower, a senior, takes it in for the 2-point conversion. It's 45-22. We're down to the last 24.5 seconds. Another scoring drive presented by Best Deal Auto Sales. If you want to score on your next drive, get a car, truck, or SUV from any of the 5 Best Deal Auto Sales locations. Best value, best financing, best deal at Best Deal Auto Sales. We'll keep it here for the finish of this one. And, of course, coming up after the game, we're going to take it over to the Pizza Hut at Southgate and have the Indiana Physical Therapy post-game show. So for Concordia fans, Lures fans, we'd like to invite you out. Join us for some pizza and live broadcast of our post-game show.
From New Haven got the stop they needed. They win the game 28-23 over the Saints.
What a classic out of New Haven. 28-23 New Haven. Dwenger had the football as the time was winding down, had a chance. But what a huge win for Jim Rowland and the New Haven Bulldogs as they continue their undefeated season. You know, if you remember last year, it was this round in the tournament when a field goal try by Bishop Lures, or by Leo against Bishop Dwenger, was wide right by inches. Dwenger went on to win the state championship. So it was a close game in sectional that could have gone either way. Same thing tonight for New Haven. Do you wonder if history could repeat itself? The onside kick is recovered by Concordia. So now we'll probably just see the victory formation, one knee, and we'll go home. Again, coming up, we've got a conversation with Peter Morrison that AWP's Michael Lido had earlier this season. The Concordia quarterback will talk openly and honestly about the season and about his recruiting. And despite the outstanding senior season that he's had as a quarterback of these cadets, why big schools aren't calling on him. Then we've got the scores and more with the Indiana Physical Therapy postgame show coming up from the Pizza Hut. We can see it from here, but it takes about 20 minutes to drive to, so we'll get to it here shortly. There's the knee for Morrison, and now the clock will wind down. The Concordia faithful will celebrate. It's a sectional championship in Class 3A for the Concordia Cadets. They defeat the Bishop Lures Knights for the second time this season. Not bad for Concordia. 3-0 record this year over the Bishops, and that's something I don't know that they've ever done in their history. Final score, 45-22. The Concordia Cadets advance to the regional with the victory over the Bishop Lures Knights. Corey, it was classic Concordia. They were able to run it, break some runs. They also were able to complete some passes, but without question, tonight's star had to be Mark Mallers, both sides of the football.
What a phenomenal football game for Mallers. And, Concordia just continues to do what they do, Brett. They are deep. They are talented. They can run the ball. They can throw the ball. Their defense is underrated. Little trouble in the kicking game tonight, which in a tight game might be of concern to them down the road in the tournament. But just a well-rounded win for the Cadets.
So Concordia advances where they will take on either West Lafayette or Twin Lakes, and we would expect that game, of course, in a later time zone. So they're an hour behind, and Concordia will have to await the winner of that one. But they will be at home next Friday, and that would be big if they could take on West Lafayette at Zollner Stadium rather than a team from this region going across to West Lafayette, which we have seen happen a couple of times in past years. And I think the last time Concordia played West Lafayette in a regional, they did have to go over there and play West Lafayette. So Concordia celebrates here at Lures Field. The final score again, the Concordia Cadets 45 and the Bishop Lures Knights 22. Well, Corey, you've seen a lot of football and you've seen a lot of teams that have made it down to Lucas Oil Stadium. When you start talking 3A football, Concordia really, as you said, maybe trouble with the kicking game, but this is as talented a team as I think Concordia may have ever had in their history.
I would tend to agree with that, Brett. I think not a lot of chinks in their armor. I mean, the thing that I really like is how balanced they are on offense. They They have enough playmakers. I think that we said probably back when we did the Concordia Bishop Dwenger game, middle of the regular season, that they were going to be a tough out in 3A, and I still believe that.
So we will wrap things up here real quick. Corey, I'll just let you do a quick rundown of scoring, and if we can just get some quick details and go through it as fast as possible before we head over to the Pizza Hut. But let's go ahead and get a rundown of how this one ended up with the 45-22 final for the Concordia Cadets.
Okay, let's go to the second half. A lot of scoring in the second half. At the 7:13 mark of the third quarter, we had a Morrison to Mallard's 11-yard pass on a corner route, 24-7 Concordia at that time. At the 4:56 mark of the third quarter, Lures gets on the board. Jalen Charlton, a 14-yard run to make it 24-14. And then Concordia goes back up 31-14 on an 18-yard run by Peterson Curly Grand at 29.3 seconds left in the third. Into the fourth quarter, 9-yard touchdown run again by Peterson Curly Grand, 38-14 Concordia at that point. Then we go on, 3:30 left. Curly Grand, another 29-yard run this time, 45-14 Concordia. Carter Gilly gets on the board for the Lures Knights, a pass from Norman Kanapke to make it 45-22.
And that is the final here at Lures Field. So I want to thank Corey for coming on out, doing our color tonight. Great job as always, Corey. Thank you so much. And also DC Hendricks, our studio engineer, who has handled things throughout the broadcast. Coming up, we'll be making a dash over to the Southgate Pizza Hut, where we can't wait to enjoy all of the great food, fixins, and also remember that we've got your coaches' interviews and your full scoreboard coming up with Darren Wright and myself, all part of the Indiana Physical Therapy post-game show. That will do it from Lures Field. Our final score: the Concordia Cadets are your sectional champion. They defeat the Bishop Lures Knights 45-22. Post-game show comes up next. This is the Partners First Federal Credit Union High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM.